the UCLA Bruins. ABC Sports presents College Football 1988, our 26th season of building memories.
Oh, Dave Simpson, first down and more. Griffin on the sideline, he's got it. Elway, and he goes over the middle and a corner touchdown. Dixon drops the throw. Good time down the middle, post pattern, Bronco Craig, touchdown.
The Rose Bowl in Pasadena, California, a deserving place for this matchup between the Nebraska Cornhuskers of the Big 8, the UCLA Bruins of the Pac-10. It's an almost perfect day weather-wise, and will get better as we go into the evening hours, and the temperature of the mid-80s will go down. Red is here, you betcha, the Nebraska Cornhuskers. They are 2-0 on the season. Their wins over Texas A&M and Utah State, ranked second in the national polls. Coach Tom Osborne, his 16th season, 149, 34, and 2. We don't have 78,000 in red, but we got a bunch scattered amongst the UCLA blue. And here come the Bruins. Bruins 1-0. Their win over San Diego State, ranked 5th in the national polls. Coach Terry Donahue, 13th season, winningest coach in UCLA history, 99, 36, and 7. Hello again, everybody. I'm Keith Jackson, and welcome to ABC Sports College Football for 1988. Well, here we are in the second week of September, and it's just one surprise after another. I don't think I have ever seen a September. In fact, I don't think there's ever been one in which there have been so many highly ranked teams meeting early in the season. And today we had another stunner as Rutgers defeated Michigan State, the defending champions in the Big Ten. Those of us who vote in national polls may have to go back to school. No team may escape unscathed this year. But what it boils down to, it just means more fun for all of us who love the old game. Let's introduce our analyst, returning for his second year with us at ABC Sports, Hall of Fame Purdue quarterback Bob Greasy. Bob, number 2 Nebraska, number 5 UCLA. What do you think?
I think it's a classic confrontation, Keith. You've got the power and the strength and physical toughness of Nebraska from the Big 8 versus the speed and the quickness and finesse of UCLA from the Pac-10. And last year in Lincoln, Nebraska, the power was dominant.
Bob, I don't believe anybody can beat the Nebraska Cornhuskers, though, unless they can stand up Nebraska's offensive front.
Well, UCLA did just that. Stop that running game and force Steve Taylor to throw the football. Unfortunately, last year for UCLA, he threw 5 touchdown passes and beat him 42-33.
Troy Aikman is the big man in the UCLA offense, and Troy and everybody knows that Nebraska is going to try to swarm him.
You've got to give him time to throw the football. And, of course, if he got the time, he's got to control it, run a lot of plays, keep Nebraska's offense off the field. Don't let him run 75 or 80 plays and wear you down.
Well, the ingredients are certainly here for something special in college football to open the season, coming to you from the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, California.
Everybody knows the Honda Civic has always been a practical car, but would you know one if you saw one?
Now, just before the kickoff, let's join our colleague Mike Adamle.
Well, Keith, talking to the UCLA coaching staff a few moments ago and reflecting on last year's loss to the Huskers in Lincoln, the staff felt they had an inferiority complex. They felt that Nebraska was so good last year, they had to come up with some new wrinkles in their offense, and consequently they got away from some of the things that they do best. Well, hopefully this year it'll be a different story. But you know that Troy Aikman is going to throw, but to set up the aerial game, they're going to go back to UCLA football. That's what they call it. They're going to run sweeps, they're going to run blast plays, and they're going to take a lot of plays from the sprint draw series. We'll see if that game plan comes to fruition. Keith?
All right, the sun is still out bright here in the west. Cloudless day. Nebraska wearing the white on the road. Cornhuskers will kick off. UCLA will receive it. Chris Drennan will do the kicking off. The deep guys for UCLA will be Brendan McCracken, now a wide receiver, had been a quarterback, and Sean Wills, number 37. He is a freshman out of Hanford, California, and he is a very good one. He wears number 37. So we're ready to go. Chris Drennan, who has been shaken up, but he's healthy again, and he is the lead place kicker for the Huskers. And this one is on. Long kick to the goal line. Sean Wills. A hole at the 20. Down at the 25. And so UCLA goes to work. Earlier I asked Coach Terry Donahue how he will attack Nebraska.
Well, Nebraska's a hard team to attack because they're very aggressive in their secondary. They're extremely mobile at the linebacker level, and their down linemen are active players who disrupt your offensive flow. We plan to try to just go after Nebraska with our basic offense. We plan to climb into the teeth of the defense and try to be balanced between run and pass.
The first carry of the ball game by Eric Ball, the tailback, and he picked up 5 yards, or very close to it, as he reaches the 30, just over the 30-yard line. The quarterback, of course, is Troy Aikman. Mark Eastwick is the fullback. Will set the lineup after this play. Call it 2nd down and 6 for UCLA. Nebraska shows a 5-man front defensively. The backers are in close. Ball goes to Ball again, back in the middle. He's got some daylight. He reaches the 35-yard line. UCLA offensive alignment, the backs and receivers. Aikman, the quarterback. Eastwick, the fullback. Big one. Ball, the tailback. Mike Farr, Reggie Moore, the wideouts. The linemen are Arbuckle, big tight end, big target. Minifield, Meyer, Cornish, and potential All-American at center, Zeno and Page. And for UCLA, 3rd down and 1. From the 35. Penalty flag as Eric Ball goes over the top. Gets the yardage for the 1st down, but let's see about the flag. Linesman threw it. Referee today is James Springer, Pac-10. Offside, Huskers. 1st down, Bruins. The Nebraska defensive alignment goes this way. They have 3 down linemen, Willie Griffin, Mike Murray, and Paul Brungert, all quick. Murray in the middle, short but big at 240. The backers of Thomas, Etienne, Tyrants, and Mills, they're good ones, all of them. The defensive backs, Lorenzo Hicks, Reggie Cooper, Tim Jackson, and Charles Fryer. Hicks is gimpy. Hicks is not in. It is Tahan Lewis, a sophomore out of Colorado Springs, replacing Lorenzo Hicks, who's hurt with a hip flexor. Sore hip, in other words. They send Ball in motion on 1st down from the 40, and a whistle and a flag.
Dead ball. Illegal procedure. Offense. 1st down.
Bruins give back 5 yards. Umpire is Dave McCullough, Pac-8. Head linesman Charles Stewart, Pac-8. Line judge George Hayward is from the Big 8. Field judge Ben Pope, Pac-8. Or Pac-10. I got my Pacs involved here. Side judge Michael Borgard is the side judge. He's from the Big 8. The back judge Artie Polk also comes out of the Big 8. So it's a mixed crew officiating the game. 1st down and 15. Ball goes to the fullback, Mark Eastwick. And Eastwick, a 225-pound sophomore, hammers his way out across the 43 before Broderick Thomas can bring him down. Broderick Thomas is a left side outside linebacker. Might even call him a defensive end, but call him what you want. He's a terror for the offense.
Call him Mr. if you want to, because he is big and strong, and he is the leader of that defensive front 7 for Nebraska. It's interesting as you see him come out. Looks like he's holding his right arm.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Got caught in the pile. Pretty good gain on that 1st down play. It was 1st and 15. Now it is 2nd down and call it 7. And Aikman's first pass of the ball game goes down the middle with it. Pass is caught for the tight end, Arbuckle. He breaks loose. He's fast. He's on his way. It is touchdown, UCLA, right down the pipe. No flag. a history of tight ends having big ball games against Nebraska. Remember Keith Jackson from Oklahoma, how many big games he had. There have been others. Here's the extra point try by Alfredo Velasco from Kirk Maggio's hold. Bad snap. Hold is good. The kick is good. And now another look at the touchdown.
Arbuckle's going to come from the left of your screen. Now watch 47 to the bottom left. Etienne is going to miss it. It's just a delay to the tight end. Arbuckle is 245 pounds. Runs right up the middle of the field. The safeties had split. It was a double coverage to the outside. Arbuckle breaks the tackle, goes 57 yards. Touchdown, UCLA.
12:39 to go. Bruins score on their first possession to lead it 7-0.
It took 2,000 years, but a revolution.
By Michelob. Michelob is a proud sponsor of the 1988 U.S. Olympic team. And by the on-time machine, American Airlines. Something special in the air.
UCLA with a big play. Breaks on top to lead it 7-0. Maggio will kick it off now. Dana Brinson and Terry Rogers are the deep people. Brinson 33, Rogers 20. The kick is short, drifting to the sideline, out of bounds. That'll cost them 5, and they'll re-kick it.
Let's go back and take a look at the touchdown. Here's Arbuckle right here. He's going to block into the linebacker and slide right into this area. Now watch Etienne right here, the second leading tackler for Nebraska last year, misses it. Just a delay to the tight end. A little dump pass, a sure pass to get him started. Etienne misses it. And UCLA is on the board 7-zip. Good blocking downfield by the wide receivers of UCLA.
Arbuckle coming off of knee surgery, and he showed some speed there. When he came in, the coaches predicted stardom for the big guy, and he showed you some speed right there. Now they'll kick it from the 30-yard line. Brinson 33, Rogers 20 in the white, waiting to accept it. They've now moved outside their 10-yard line. Maggio hits it clean down the middle this time, and it goes to Brinson, a flyer from Valdosta, Georgia. He's a senior, and he's across the 30 up to the 32. Tom Osborne told me yesterday this is how he plans to attack the UCLA defense.
Well, we'll try to go at them some. You know, I guess everybody's got to be true to their nature to some degree, and that's our nature, is to try to be aggressive and go at people, run at them. And of course, we usually take an open-minded approach. We don't ever have a preconceived idea. We usually see how people are lining up. We try to find out what we can do. And like last year, we thought we'd run on them, but we couldn't very well, and we ended up throwing the ball a lot. So we'll be very open-minded after the first couple series, but we will try to see how they line up against us and what we think we can do.
Well, you got an eyeful there on the first play as Ken Clark carried. Outside linebacker Eric Smith, who is also coming off back problems, missed a year, but he stepped into the middle and stuffed Clark.
Smith had surgery last year, in fact, Keith, on his back. Was a 2-year starter prior to last year, and in 1986 led the Bruins with 11 sacks. So they're glad to get him back in the lineup.
Gain of 1, second down and 9. Gregory goes wide with the top of the picture. I formation for the Huskers. Steve Taylor. Play action, rolls it out, looks for Gregory, hums it. He's got it, out of bounds. Up around the 46, 47-yard line. Morgan Gregory, a junior from Denver, Colorado. Steve Taylor, the quarterback. Sam Schmidt at fullback. Ken Clark, the tailback. Richard Bell and Morgan Gregory, the wideouts. The offensive front, big tight end. Milliken, they're big all the way across the front. Sledge, Keeler, Young. Jake finally getting well and getting to play. John Nelson and Doug Glazer. They run 270, 265, 260, 260, 295. They are big. It is first down for the Huskers at the 46-yard line. The tailback Clark has it. He is a hammer man. He gets up near midfield for a pickup of about 4 yards on the carry. Behind Clark, they have Terry Rogers, who is a darter, a slasher with great speed. He can break the play. And then comes the third man, who is a combination of the two, Tyrese Knox.
Gain of 4, second and 6, ball on the 50-yard line.
You're a pretty good football player when you have won the wingback job from Dana Brinson, who's been there for so long. Richard Bell, a junior out of Altadena, California, which is not very far from the Rose Bowl, is in there right now. He is one of the wideouts as Taylor pitches back to Clark. Clark behind the right side blocking will be a yard short of the first down. He is at the Bruin 45. The Bruins defensive unit looks like this. Lodish, Waller, Wilcox are the three big people in the down position, and they are very, very important today. Smith, Davis, Johnson, Lake, all very good, very fast. Defensive secondary, Henley, he's a home run hitter. Darby's Young and Cumming, and the Turners, Eric and Marcus. Jim Springer.
Face mask, 5 yards against the defense. First down.
Inadvertent face mask. That's why it's 5 yards. It is a first down for the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Terry Donahue looking for win number 100. Said maybe they'll quit calling to the young coach if I can get it. 10 minutes and 55 seconds to go in the first quarter. Double tight end alignment now for Nebraska. Steve Taylor, born and raised in San Diego, hands it off to Clark. Clark goes to the right side behind the pulling guard, pulling tackle, number 62, Bob Sledge. Brian Wilcox brought him down. Now let's join Al Troutwig.
Keith, we all know Troy Aikman began his career at Oklahoma, and his former team had a good day, as did the man who took his job, Jamel Holloway. Running in from 5 yards out, that made it 28-0, and for the second year in a row, Oklahoma beats North Carolina by that score. Back to you.
All right, Al, and on September 24, those Oklahoma Sooners will be at the Coliseum against Southern California, and you'll see that here on ABC. USC won today over Stanford 24-20 very late in the game. They dodged a big one there. Taylor back, keeps the ball, runs it left, turns it upfield, lost his footing, and goes down around the Bruin 38-yard line. It'll be third down and about 8 for Nebraska. Chance Johnson, the senior out of Compton, California, was the man who had him in his sights and didn't let him get by. He tried to juke him and fell.
And Chance Johnson made a big play because there was nobody around him, as you mentioned. If he would have juked Johnson and gotten around him, the whole middle of the field was open. Johnson didn't have the quickness, but he says, I've got the patience to wait it out. I've got some friends coming to help me.
Third and 8. And Taylor straight back, hums one, in and out of the hands of Gregory, hit him right on the numbers, and the bullet bounced off his chest for an incomplete forward pass, and Morgan is shaking his head over it. That would have been a first down. He was 2 yards to the good of the first down marker and just simply didn't put his hands on it.
And the blitz was on too, Keith. This UCLA defense, a very aggressive, attacking style, like the blitz. That time he read it very well. He got rid of the ball, but as you mentioned, he dropped the football.
John Croker is in to punt. Darrell Henley, who broke 189 yards in the opening game for a touchdown, is back there. He tries to pooch it up in the air and kill it, but he gets a tail dragger. It bounces into the end zone, and it'll be UCLA ball at the 20. In the first quarter of play from the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, there is the Tournament House. That's headquarters for the Tournament of Roses Committee that puts on the gala every New Year's Day. We'll be back. Well, the heads are together for the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Last year, Nebraska gave up only 1 touchdown in the first quarter all season. A&M and UCLA have already hit them for 1 this year. Bruins have the ball, leading 7-0, first down at their 20. Same offensive alignment. Eastrick at fullback. Eric Ball is the I-back. Troy Aikman gives it to Ball, and Ball comes blasting up the middle, running behind Cornish and Zeno, and finds some daylight, gets out near the 28-yard line. That's a big gain on first down up the middle.
UCLA going to 3 wide receivers that time, doing a nice job of mixing it up. 3 wide receivers on first down and running, and then going to a normal running set and throwing on that touchdown pass to Arbuckle.
Brendan McCracken now is in the lineup. Young man who started at quarterback. There's no room for him there. He converted over to wide receiver, and he's going to play a lot this year. Aikman to throw, sacked behind the line of scrimmage. Quick coverage by number 42, Jeff Mills, the right side backer, a junior out of Montclair, New Jersey. He was well off the mark as Aikman started to step up into the pocket, and then bingo, Jeff got him.
Mills came around. He was on the right side and just looped into the middle. best pass rushers on this Nebraska defense are the two outside linebackers, Mills, number 42, and Thomas on the other side.
Arbuckle is in, Farr is in, McCracken is in, Moore is in for UCLA. One remaining back, and Aikman rolls it out. Gets his pass off underneath. Pass is caught up at the 36-yard line by Mike Farr, son of Mel from Birmingham, Michigan, and it is going to be good for the first down for the Bruins. His daddy an All-American as a Bruin.
Take a look at it from ground level. A little sprint to the left. Aikman showing some mobility. This causes problems on a pass rush. Not a great throw, but it gets there for a first down.
Eric Ball is back in at the I-back position. First down just outside the 36 for UCLA. They lead 7-0. First quarter, 7.5 to go, and it's Ball cutting it back against the grain. Breaks it big. He's got great speed. There's a penalty flag back at the line of scrimmage. You may have a holding call. Just hang on. Another big play, though, by UCLA. Let's see about the flag. Holding, Bruins. Forget it. A 64-yard play is wiped out. But the idea is now sown deep. They hit him with a big, deep pass down the middle of the tight end, and now they break a run up the middle.
Here it is right here. Watch Cornish, the center, against Murray, number 74. Watch him right there on a takedown. There you go. Nice takedown. Those two played high school football together in Carmel, Mount Carmel, Chicago, and Cornish, number 68, who got the penalty against Murray. Murray said he's a pretty good player. He says it's tough to see around Cornish. Murray is only 5'10", Cornish 6'5" and 265.
So wipe out the touchdown, bring the football back to the 26-yard line where it is first down for UCLA, and the freshman tailback is in there, Sean Wills from Hanford, California, and he's got some moves, and he breaks it big up across the 45 to the 46. Reggie Cooper, a sophomore out of Slidell, Louisiana, the strong safety, finally brought him down. Clemson won today, but not terribly big for a team that's got national championship on its mind. As we told you, the Trojans won a close one up at the farm in Stanford.
Terry Donahue has a freshman redshirt program. Not many true freshmen play. Sean Wills has impressed him. He impressed us right there.
You bet. Looked pretty good last week in his first action. He stays in at the tailback position. Aikman hands it up front to Eastman, the fullback, and Mark out of La Cañada, which again is not very far from the Rose Bowl, hammers it to midfield. That's a pickup of 4 yards. They are getting penetration on their first down running plays.
Tom Osborne is concerned about his defense. Last year, all of last year, the defense only gave up 1 touchdown in the first quarter. Already this year, he's given up 2. 1 at Texas A&M in the first game. Now here, he already gave up 1 and had 1 called back.
Bruins have run 6 out of the 7 times right up the pipe. So they feel like, I guess they found something, running up behind Cornish. Here's the pitch. They go wide this time. Wills cuts it back and goes down. Look at this. He may go. No flags. Touchdown, Bruins.
Freshman Sean Wills. Last year he was playing high school football, breaks the tackle and uses his speed. Runs away from Crawford. Outstanding.
50-yard sprint through traffic. Hit at least 4, maybe 5 times as Velasco makes the conversion. And how do you do? 6:38 to play, and the Bruins lead 14-0.
Take a look at the blocking up front. You see 71 Myers. Good job defensively. Nobody makes the tackle. Everybody was up there. You got to give a lot of credit to Wills, who just broke free. He says, hey, if nobody's going to tackle me, I'm going to get... I saw this young man yesterday, Keith, in the locker room. And he asked me for my autograph. So I said, you must be a Dolphin fan. He says, no, he says, I like the Dallas Cowboys.
There are the vital numbers on the Bruins scoring drive, and maybe we're a little confused as to which team is the power team here. As UCLA jumps out to the 14-0 lead, and Maggio kicks it off. It's a very high kick. Should be pretty good coverage as Brinson accepts it, finds a little crack, and gets up near the 30-yard line. Again, let's join Al Trapper.
Well, Keith, it looks as though the Seminoles want to forget about Miami as quickly as they can. Their star defensive back, Deion Sanders, has an interception return for a touchdown, and Chip Ferguson, their quarterback, has passed for 2 more. At the half, they're up by 18.
I think the Southern Miss folks expected a little angry Seminole coming to town this week.
You know, unfortunately for them, they got Bobby Bowden's team twice in a row after playing Miami and losing to them. They got them last year after the Miami loss.
All right, Nebraska to the attack, just short of the 30. Steve Taylor sets him up, put a man in motion. That's Brinson. Pitch it back to the I-back, reverse it to Brinson, the wing back. Brinson's got a man out in front of him. That's Taylor. Taylor looks for the block. Brinson cuts inside. He's got a first down as the balls come sliding away, and somebody in UCLA blue looked like they may have it. Was he out of bounds, or did he get it? He got it. Number 29. That's Eric Turner, a sophomore out of Ventura, California.
Just a toss and a reverse. Tom Osborne coming out with something to get a little pizzazz going in his offense. Dana Brinson with good speed and Taylor out in front of him. Chance Johnson, number 7. The ball is caught in midair by Lake, number 31.
Carnell Lake is the man that made that theft. Troy Aikman trying to cash it in. Goes down the middle. Pass good to Reggie Moore. Moore is rolled down at the Nebraska 27, and the Bruins are on a roll right now, leading 14-0 and trying to hang up another one in a hurry.
Reggie Moore, you mentioned a little earlier that Mike Farr was the son of Mel Farr. Reggie is the son of Zeke Moore, who played in the NFL for a lot of years. So both wide receivers for the UCLA Bruins have fathers who played in the National Football League.
Estwick and Ball, the I formation for UCLA. First down at the Husker 27-yard line. Ball has it. Eric turns it up inside to about the 23. A pickup of 4 yards. We have not called the name Etienne, except on a mistake that he made when he failed to make a tackle. We have not called Mills' name but once. We have not called Tarantz's name either. So the linebackers have been pretty quiet for Nebraska.
They certainly have. Look at the total yardage in the first quarter alone.
Right now, the Bruins are blowing Griffin, Murray, and Brungard off the ball. The defensive front for the Huskers. Aikman back to throw the ball. Shoots it right in between defenders, complete down at the 15-yard line. And it is Corwin Anthony, tight end, making the catch. Look out for Florida down in the SEC. Alabama, one of the considered favorites in the SEC. Penn State at halftime big over George Welch's team. Washington State beat Illinois last week, and they're leading Minnesota this week. It is first down, Bruins at the Nebraska 15. And whipping into the middle, it is Sean Rhodes again. He weighs 180. He stands 5'11", and he explodes in traffic. Ball is resting now at the 11. You've got 4 minutes and 35 seconds to play in the first quarter. One block on the corner, slips one tackle, goes to the 5 before they can get him. Etienne missed another tackle. Leroy Etienne was the man that had him in the open, but ball just jukes him and went inside of him for 5.
47 is Etienne. Watch him as he slips the block of Cornish, gets over in good shape, and just overruns him. The tackling of the Nebraska Cornhuskers is not up to par, obviously, in this first quarter. Charlie McBride, the defensive coordinator, is not happy with what he's seeing so far.
Danny Thompson has come into the backfield now to join Eric Ball and Mark Estrick. The chains are out to check to see if the Bruins, in fact, have a first down. And they do. Who would have thunk it? Huh?
On the 5-yard line.
Here we go. Just short of the 5. They've got the tight ends, Anthony and Arbuckle, in the lineup. They've got Ball at I-back, Estrick at fullback. And Thompson moves up into a wing-back position. Means they probably are going to come this way, right. Nope, they put him in motion the other way, then bring him back and send Ball into the middle. There isn't much there for Eric. It just becomes a matter of how much his leg strength will get him, and he got the better part of 2 yards on the power surge.
UCLA, Keith, has had the ball on 3 occasions and have scored on their first 2. Both of them on big plays. The first one to the tight end, the pass to Arbuckle, and then Wills on the long run. Nebraska has had it on 2 occasions and hasn't done anything.
Toy is in the fullback position now for the Bruins as Aikman keeps it, throws it, touchdown! Charles Arbuckle, second of the game.
There's Arbuckle, 81. All the flow is away. Now watch him sneak out. He's wide open. The other tight end, Anthony, is deep behind him. Let's take a look right here. He's going to come out in the flat. The other tight end will come across, and Aikman will have a choice. Fakes the toss. Delay block. Now he's got 2-on-1. Easy picking.
Velasco for the extra point. Good. Aikman, 5 out of 5, 101 yards, 2 touchdowns, 4 first downs to 4 different receivers. The 2 touchdowns going to that big guy right there, Charles Arbuckle. 3:21 to go. First quarter, 21-0 Bruins.
Header.
In his 16 seasons at Nebraska, Tom Osborne has never lost to UCLA. Last time he was here, it was 42-3. Nebraska, but he's definitely got a little taller mountain to climb today, down 21-0.
Well, Nebraska normally averages 35, 40 points a game. What he needs to do is just not to panic, and I'm sure he won't, and get his defense to play a little better.
No, he may be the most collected guy in the stadium. This is Dana Brinson with another kickoff return. This time the Bruin coverage a little better as they stop him short of the 25-yard line. Put him on the 23. Here's Al Trumpitt.
Keith, Johnny Major's Volunteers may be in trouble. They lost to Georgia last week. Now Steve Spurrier's offense is clicking, and they're in trouble again. Their only touchdown on an interception return in the second quarter. Duke leads the Volunteers. Keith?
Ooh. Well, Stevers Blue Devils are looking for their second in a row. He's a fine young coach. 23-yard line. And now the Huskers will try to get on track. Taylor to the fullback. First carry of the day, a second carry of the day by Sam Schmidt, a 230-pound junior out of Wood River, Nebraska. And his gain is a couple of yards up to near the 25, just over it. Brinson comes in. Bell will come out probably for Nebraska. Todd Milliken, the tight end, is normally a big play man. He has not seen the ball so far today. They have needed him for blocking. They've got Monty Kratzenstein in there, a junior, a double tight end alignment. Power eye. Taylor keeps it, turns it inside. Steve Taylor trying to make something happen, looking to the outside, and really got a hat put on him by Mike Lodish and Darrell Henley. Lodish slowed him down, and Henley put him away. And the ball is at the 30.
Taylor fakes to Schmidt, coming down the line on an option, is going to keep it. Now he's trying to make big yardage by getting all the way to the backside, and Lodish holds him, pulls him to the ground.
Mike, a big fella from Birmingham, Michigan. Steve Taylor keeps it again, goes down the line with it. And number 48, Doug Klein, inside backer, jumped him and brought him down. And the Huskers are going to have to punt it. John Croker's first punt tonight, 38 yards. The average right at 42 last year. Return man is Darrell Henley, so look out.
Back to punt.
Good kick, driving spiral. Henley's got some room. 25 gets a block on the corner. No flags. Touchdown. Sam Schmidt took it 75 yards for a touchdown after a 44-yard punt. The last time a punt was returned for a touchdown against Nebraska was 1964. Velasco's point is good. Hey, folks, the water's getting deep.
There's a wall set up to the top of your screen. Watch the blue jerseys. Right here is the first block on Bell, number 21. Now you see a bunch of blue jerseys. There's one, another one. He outruns that Nebraska Cornhusker. He returned a punt last week against San Diego State for a touchdown. Returned one last year for a touchdown. This is his third in 2 years and gives UCLA a commanding 28-0 lead.
I'll tell you, those do not come easy. It takes hours and hours and hours of banging your body to make it work.
This is just the opposite of what happened in Lincoln last year, Keith. If you take a look at the total yards, Nebraska dominated early out in Lincoln. Won the battle of the punting game, won the defensive struggle, and also offensively.
I don't think Tom Osborne's ever had a Nebraska team down 28-0.
You know, it may sound corny to say it at this point in time, but this game is not over. We've played almost one quarter. There's 3 quarters to play, but Tom's got to get his defense playing better. They're all in a coma. They're in shock.
Dana Brinson on the kick return. 25 down at the 30, maybe the 31. So they've gotten pretty good field position each time off of the kick return. ABC's NFL Monday Night Football will have an NFC Eastern Division matchup. If you can have a team from Phoenix in the Eastern Division. The Dallas Cowboys and the Phoenix Cardinals in their new home, Sun Devil Stadium in Tempe, Arizona. All of our September games will begin at the special time, 8 Eastern Time, Monday on ABC Sports. All right, Huskers still looking for composure here as Taylor drops back, swings it out to Clark, and he's slammed to the ground. Wicked hit by Matt Darby, a redshirt freshman from Virginia, beats Virginia.
What you got now is all the emotion and momentum is on the side with the blue jerseys. And when you're up 28 points in the first quarter, it's easy to play with emotion. The white jerseys need to gather themselves, make a few first downs, a few good plays, and get back into this ball game.
That young man was all over the field last week in the San Diego State game. He is a very active, strong safety, and he's still growing. Taylor whips the pass. Pass is caught by Brinson. He can't shake loose. Bruin coverage to the wide side of the field was very, very good. Ball is resting at the 33-yard line. The first quarter is over. And it's a shocker. UCLA 28 and Nebraska nothing. A stunning development as UCLA jumps to a 28-0 lead over Nebraska as we start the second quarter of play. The Huskers have done virtually nothing offensively. Third down and 8 as Steve Taylor drops one off underneath, and a wicked hit. It is Matt Darby again nailing the Nebraska receiver, Brinson. I mean, he just drove him into the Rose Bowl turf.
Here's Brinson here. He's going to come down and come across right into Darby's area. Darby backs up, has good vision. Now Taylor just looks at the receiver, and right there with good vision, Darby comes up and makes the hit.
Brinson is still down after the hit.
Well, everything is all smiles on the UCLA side of the field. Brinson is 5'9", 5'7", 5'9", almost gets his helmet knocked off. Darby with a clean hit.
The stats in the first quarter, I think, reflect clearly the utter dominance by UCLA, averaging 12.4 yards per play to Nebraska's 4 yards per play.
And the one thing that's not on there is the punt return. Of course, the turnover helped set up another touchdown, but Nebraska has come out and has been in a coma. UCLA has come out ready to play.
Let's find out something about the mood on the red and white sideline from Mike Adamle.
Well, it's not a very pleasant sight, Keith Jackson. I don't think there's a single player on the Nebraska team who has ever been in a situation like this, down 28-0 to start the second quarter. It's going to be an interesting test to see how these guys respond. I talked to one of the defensive assistants. He said he was worried about Troy Aikman. Troy Aikman hasn't been a factor because they can't stop the run.
Tom Osborne is quiet, calm, collected. He has his doctorate in educational psychology. He is a riverboat gambler. On fourth down and a yard, back on his own 40-yard line, trailing 28-0, he runs the ball. He goes for it with Terry Rogers, and he got his first down up across the 45.
Well, this is a spark, a small one, but something that the players can gather around and say, hey, all right, we made something. Let's keep it going.
Rogers is the quickness they may well need in the backfield. He stays in there. He's the son of Johnny, and he's up over the 50 down to the Bruin 49. Carnell Lake brought him down, just starting the second quarter. Johnny, his dad, who was an All-American Heisman winner at Nebraska, is here in the Rose Bowl today watching his son play.
That number was retired. They brought it out of retirement so Terry could wear it.
Second down, about 5 from the Bruin 49. Taylor pitches wide to Rogers, looks for the block on the corner and cannot get it. He will pick up a couple of yards, and there are penalty flags on the field. You might get an illegal use of hands on that call.
Or a late hit.
Late hit. Could be either one. Clipping. Well, I think they kind of had their choice there, didn't they? Jim Springer, the referee, son of Jack. Jack goes back many, many years. He is now the head of the officiating, was the head of the officials in the Pac-10. Gosh, I'd go back to the middle 50s with Jack Springer myself.
Clipping, offense, repeat second down.
You saw that Indiana was opening big over Rice, Bill Mallory's team, figuring to be a factor.
So look at Dana Brinson on the sideline. It looks like they're checking his eyes. He may have been knocked out.
Yeah, could have been.
Or a concussion, possibly a concussion.
The ball comes back to the 36 of Nebraska. They've got to go to the UCLA 45 for the first down. Taylor gets some pressure, looking to throw the ball. Now he's drifting. And the pass is deflected, intercepted by Marcus Patton. So Steve Taylor, who borrowed a lot of time there, drifting to the sideline, chose not to turn it upfield, tried to force the ball in. It was deflected and intercepted.
Another look, play action pass. Taylor doing what he can, maybe trying to do too much. Is pressured. The ball is tipped. There's a lot of Bruins back there. UCLA has a lot of takeovers, had a lot last year, in the top 5 in the country in takeovers.
John Pryor got the deflection. Troy Aikman again back quickly, goes to the air, and the pass is incomplete, intended for Reggie Moore. Moore got tangled up on the sidelines, almost fell down, no flag. So Aikman, who was expected to be such a big story in the game, has been just that, with 2 touchdown passes, 5 out of 6. The ball is on the Nebraska 44-yard line, 2nd down and 10. Eric Ball is the I-back. Fullback Estwick.
Mark Estwick.
Down to about the 41. Pickup of 3 on the play. Roderick Thomas brought him down with help from Etienne.
You mentioned Aikman. As we take a look at Thomas, number 89. He has completed a couple touchdown passes, but I don't think that Aikman is really the story of this first quarter as much as it is the play in the trenches. UCLA dominating both offensively and defensively in the lines and special teams. They return the punt for a touchdown, and they're just dominating up front.
Nebraska's kicking game helped beat UCLA last year. Special teams giving Bruins the big early cushion as Aikman goes down the middle to Moore. Penalty flag down as Moore is brought down at the Nebraska 34-yard line. Let's see about the call. Might very well be a hold. Protect the quarterback. And if your hands get outside the frame of the body, you're going to get that call.
Holding, offense, repeat 3rd down.
We had so much action in the first quarter after that flurry of touchdowns, we haven't even gotten around to the new rule on conversions as yet. There's your holding call, looks like right there on 6-7 Minifield. That's the 5th penalty for 35 yards against the Bruins, and we've got 12:15 to go in the first half. Ball comes back to the UCLA 45.
49-yard line.
49, excuse me. Got to go to the 34. 17 yards. Aikman sets up, has protection, shoots a bullet, intercepted. Blazek, Mark Blazek, he's quite a young fellow too, I'll tell you. Mark Blazek is the official was over there. Blazek was down. He went down, clearly down on a knee when he made the call, didn't he? I don't think a call has been made.
Well, here's Blazek. The receiver's just going to come straight down the field. Let's take a look and see if he hits the ground, if he catches the football. Blazek sees everything in front of him. Aikman is going to force this ball.
He's clearly down. Does he have the ball?
He certainly had the ball. There's official right there.
Now he's following the play.
The question is, did he have possession before he hit the ground? That's the question.
Well, Jim Springer will clarify.
The pass was intercepted. The player thought he went down, but he was not down. Touchdown.
Never made a call back there. It's a Nebraska touchdown. The Bruins stopped. They thought he was down. But the ball was apparently juggling around. He didn't have possession. Mark Blazek comes ambling back up the field, walked part of the way, and it goes in the books as a 75-yard touchdown off an interception.
We need to see another look at this.
Oh, my goodness.
Does he hit the ground?
Well,
sure, he's
right
down.
There.
Wait a minute. What in the world's going on here? The man is down.
Oh.
I can't believe this.
I can't either.
The man is down.
That's absurd. I mean, I'm happy for Mark.
Well, you know,
I've never seen a call like that in college football.
Well, the official was right there.
Chris Drennan, who is 57 out of 57 in extra points in his career. This is where the defense can now score 2 points if they can block this kick and run the ball back. Well, they can't, as Drennan drills it through, and Nebraska is on the scoreboard in one of the doggonedest moments of college football I have ever seen. UCLA's lead now is cut by 7 with 11:44 to go in the first half.
Ace professional grade duct tape. A 60-yard roll is only 3.
Here's
let's
a
go
play
back.
they'll talk about forever, Bob.
Let's take a look. Here's Blazek right here. Now, wait a minute. Here is the official right on the sideline right here, looking right at it. Blazek makes the interception. What's the official looking at? I mean, he's got to be looking at him down. They're right on top of each other. Right here. Okay. Now, this is what he's looking at, or supposed to be looking at. He has possession. He is down. He may have just saw the end of it.
That could be.
He may have run that back if we can. Well, he may have just seen the end of it where he spun around on his hand and maybe not looking at it.
Well, Mark,
whatever. It's a big break for Osborne in the Nebraska corner.
Certainly is. An academic All-American did that. Ball goes back to the 10-yard line where it's taken by Sean Wills, and Wills comes up across the 25 to the 26.
There's one more look at it. Aikman tries to force it. Now there he's down, and maybe he just saw the end of it. The official is right there. Maybe he just saw the whirl. He was looking downfield maybe and then didn't see it. Well, we all make mistakes, and that was a big mistake. It's going to help Nebraska.
All right, UCLA now will come back with the ball, leading 28-7. Ball is just outside the 26-yard line. Aikman hands the ball away to Eric Ball, and Ball bangs in there for about 1 yard. 11.5 minutes to go in the first half of play. And let's pause 5 seconds for our local stations to tell you who they are.
This is KETV, Channel 7, Omaha.
Some big plays and a 75-yard punt return to lead 28-0. Nebraska just got a touchdown on the dadgum display I've ever seen in 35 years of this game. Troy Aikman throws down the middle. Charles Arbuckle pulls it in for another big gain. He's been very prominent in the ball game, and it's up at the 38-yard line of UCLA. Pryor made the tackle. The Goodyear blimp soaring over the Rose Bowl as we settle towards sunset in Pasadena, California. The blimp Columbia is out of Gardena, just to the south. Pilot is Captain Tom Mattis from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Eric Ball is the eye back. It is a first down after the reception by Arbuckle for UCLA from the 38. Ball with it.
Eric Ball
Finds some daylight to the sidelines. Bruin backs are running hard, and it's first down UCLA inside the Cornhusker 45. Charles Pryor and Blazek on the tackle.
Take a look from behind the defense. Good defense at the point of attack. Everybody's in their lanes, but nobody makes the tackle. Number 4, Jackson, comes up and gives himself away. Good running by Ball. Another UCLA first down.
Ball again.
Eric Ball.
And that's going to be a couple of yards short of the first down as he started to cut back into the middle, and he had some contact. Otherwise, he would still be running. Over there is another Pac-10 team winning big. Well, Lamar jumping out to a couple of impressive outings to start the season.
You've been giving him some pep talks up there?
No. I've had nothing to do with it. I'm not that smart. That's Dennis Erickson. Accomplishment. from the 37-yard line. Second down, call it 3. Ball will run for it and will not get there as he picks up 1 yard on that carry. And we have now a penalty flag thrown by side judge. There was a scuffle going on between a Bruin and a Husker downfield. So we either got a personal foul or we've got unsportsmanlike conduct. So let's see what the call is. It's against UCLA. Doubleheader for you next Saturday starting at noon Eastern time. Notre Dame and Michigan State from East Lansing. Spartans were upset by Rutgers today, so they'll figure to be pretty angry bunch. Followed by Miami, defending national champions and a big winner over Florida State in their opener. They'll be before the big house in Ann Arbor against the Michigan Wolverines.
What a job Jimmy Johnson has done with that program.
The ball comes all the way back now to the UCLA 46-yard line. They've got to go to the Nebraska 34 for their first down. Well, they need 20. And it's third down.
Third down, 20 yards to go.
He's got 4 wideouts in the lineup right now. He's talking to one of the officials. I don't know.
Terry's got to be upset.
I think he's arguing they have walked off too much real estate against him here.
Well, he's got a chip on his shoulder from that call a little bit earlier.
I don't blame him.
I don't blame him either, but that's behind him now. He still has a 21-point lead, and you got to play the rest of the game.
I think he added up the yardage there, and it didn't come out.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Right.
Well, he's got to have some doubt in his mind now about this crew.
On third down and long, Aikman to throw. Underneath, pass caught, David Keating. And he takes it down to the Husker 37. And he's 3 yards short of the first down. So it'll be 4th and 3. Ball just came on the field. It looks like they're going to go for it. They've been running the ball very well against the Huskers.
They've controlled the line of scrimmage.
No, ball goes in motion. This reads pass. Aikman rolls it out. Gets it off. Pass is caught by Arbuckle. Good for a first down. The tight end remains a major figure for UCLA.
They worked on this play yesterday. Both receivers are going to go downfield, and the tight end right here is going to sneak out, pick up 3 or 4 yards. That's all we need on 4th and short, 3rd and short. As Arbuckle rolls out, their philosophy is run 2 guys deep, angle a guy out underneath them, and pick up the first down.
From the 30 of Nebraska, Mike Farr, the man in motion. Aikman rolls it out. Penalty flag down. The pass thrown underneath. Pass caught by Moore. But there's a flag back upfield. I think it was Estwick, the fullback. He had a man in motion. I think he started too soon, and that's the call. 7 minutes and 51 seconds to play in the first half. 28-7, UCLA.
Well, they go shift, more than one man in motion, offense, first down.
You know, when the final count is in, we may have between 75 and 80,000 folks out on this warm evening in Pasadena. First down and 15 for UCLA. McCracken comes back toward the line of scrimmage. Ball takes a hit, holds his balance, and surges in there for about 2, maybe 3 yards. You know, they've got a freshman named Kevin Williams, out of Spring, Texas. He's had a lot of trouble with a hamstring, but he may be the fastest of the fast in this bunch if they ever get him out.
They had an outstanding year recruiting. They got a top quarterback and 2 top freshman running back. And we've seen one here today, Sean Wills.
It's second down and close to 14. Little play action. Aikman rolls, throws underneath. Arbuckle to tight end. Big man has it. Powers down the sideline and picks up a first down. He's out of bounds near the Nebraska 11 before Tahan Lewis got him.
There's Arbuckle, just a delay block. Thomas then rushes the passer. Well-designed play by the UCLans.
Tight ends have historically had big games against Nebraska.
Steve Axman, the offensive coordinator for UCLA, doing a nice job calling the plays for UCLA. Arbuckle with already 5 receptions.
This is the 10th play of this possession by UCLA. Aikman back, stands up, throws, pass caught, down near the goal line. Touchdown, David Keating.
Keating is up here at the top. He's just going to run a slant right in here. And Aikman is going to fire the ball right into him. Everybody thinks they're going to the wide side. The short side slant. And a poor tackle. Been poor tackling all day. I'm sure one of the things that Charlie McBride's going to tell him in the locker room is we got to tackle somebody.
Velasco for the extra point. It is good. That ball was caught by Keating and scored by Keating despite the fact that it was tipped. It was struck by someone as it cleared the line of scrimmage. It's now 35-7 UCLA.
Hello. Business has sure picked up here at Lucky's.
These College Football is brought to you by Honda, who invites you to experience the Accord LXI 4-door sedan at your local Honda dealer. And by GTE. At GTE, the power is on.
Even with the gift touchdown, Nebraska is just getting blown away by UCLA here in this first half. 35-7. Kickoff is very high and short. Taken at the 13 by Terry Rogers. And Rogers brings it back across the 30 to about the 31, maybe the 32. See where they are. They're going to mark him down back inside the 30, where he had his first bounce at the 29.
What you have to do here, Keith, is just keep your composure and not try to make super plays when there's nothing there. Run your game plan. You still have more than 2 quarters to play. It's a shock to be down 28 points when you're not in this situation. But Osborne controls. He calls all the plays. He just has to get the confidence of those guys in that offensive huddle to believe that they can do it. Sam Schmidt, the injured Cornhusker.
He's the starting fullback. Brian Carpenter is now in there. Brian is a junior out of Olathe. And Sam looks like he's got a sore knee coming off.
I've been in a few of those huddles when we've been down very quickly, and it's tough to get your guys up. But you have to believe that you can still win the ball game. And there aren't many times when a Nebraska team has been in this situation. But I'm sure that they've got the confidence in Tom Osborne, and he's got to get it instilled into them to run plays, score one time at one drive at a time, and get back in the ball game.
All right, from the 29, first down. Rogers is the I-back. Taylor takes it to him, back to throw, runs away from the pressure, looks downfield and goes big downfield, trying to stretch it, and has it intercepted by Marcus Turner. So they tried to stretch the defense, open it up a little bit, and Marcus Turner, a senior from Lakewood, California, reels it in.
Osborne tries to keep his troops up. Just what I said they shouldn't do, they tried to do. The play is off now. Now it's an ad-lib, a broken play. Says go deep. He can't throw it that far. Man, Turner cuts in front of him and intercepts him. Milliken was behind him, but you don't know how far he was behind him. Turner is a pretty good safety.
And so UCLA owns the ball at the Nebraska 48, leading 35-7. Eric Ball is the tailback for the Bruins. Has it. And he's hit by number 40, Pat Tarrant, a sophomore from Omaha, who took his legs away from him and brought him down after a couple of yards.
Making the tackle.
Six minutes to go in the first half.
And 2 on the play, second down 8 on the Nebraska 46-yard line.
Aikman to throw. Throws short. Pass is good to Corwin Anthony. And Corwin Anthony picks up a Bruin first down at the Cornhusker 32-yard line. Cooper and Jackson got the tackle for Nebraska.
There's a look from behind the safety. Tim Jackson. Tight end's just going to break out. Nothing Jackson can do about it. ATN gets beat. Well, that's not ATN, that's Marco.
Aikman is now 11 of 13, 182 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 intercept, 9 first downs. Timeout. Bruins call it. Aikman looking around, didn't like what he saw. 5:19 to go first half. Lead is comfortable. Now here is a play that resulted in Nebraska's touchdown that if we have time we're going to show it to you, but it's a kind of a play that probably should go into the Hall of Fame. Safety Mark Blazek, academic All-American, grade point 3957, social sciences education, intercepts Troy Aikman's pass right there. Was he down? Well, after this play we'll show you what happened afterward. Right now Troy Aikman hands the ball off to his fullback. On first down, Estrick picks up a couple of yards. So let's go back with this play one more time. Now watch Blazek make the interception here as Aikman tried to force it. Now he thinks he's down. There's been no call. The UCLA stops. He thinks he's down, but Mark has the presence of mind. Just keep on trotting toward the goal line.
But he keeps running because he heard no whistle.
That's right.
Obviously, UCLA saw that he was down and stopped.
And suddenly the arms went up, touchdown, and that's how Nebraska got its 7 points. Hand off. Eric Ball, the tailback carries. He's down to the 26. He is 4 yards short of the first down. Lawrence Heath makes the tackle for Nebraska.
Eric Bell has 63 yards rushing. He has outrushed the entire Nebraska team in the first quarter and a half. Nebraska rushing for only 50 yards so far.
So it's third down at about 4. Aikman to throw. Under pressure, and he bounces one downfield. Incomplete. That'll bring up 4th down. Troy was born and raised out of the West Covina area near Los Angeles. Grew up in Henrietta, Oklahoma, where he played high school football. Recruited by Oklahoma. Broke his leg in a ball game against Miami early in the sophomore season. Jamel Holloway emerged as the wishbone returned to the Sooners. No place for Aikman to play. Barry Switzer called. Terry Donahue. That's how Troy Aikman wound up at UCLA.
He still wears his cowboy boots. And
the 42-yard field goal try by Velasco. Plenty of leg, and it's good. Alfredo Velasco. He has now made 10 consecutive field goals dating back to last year. And UCLA now leads 38-7, and it's very quiet in Lincoln, Nebraska.
Monday, the Dallas Cowboys head to Phoenix for the Cardinals' first season home game. It's ABC's Monday Night Football, the only way to kick off your week.
Bruins kicking off from the 35. Maggio hammers it high and back to the 3 to Terry Rogers. Terry gets a hold, crosses the 25, out to the 26.
Randy Beverly made the tackle. Nebraska will put the ball in play, first and 10. On the 27-yard line.
Nebraska's next opponent is Arizona State, but not until the 24th. They're off until then. And I'll bet you Larry Marmee, when he sees this score, is going to say, oh, no. Because you know that there'll be some butt kicking around the practice area in Lincoln when they go home, unless something dramatic changes here. As Taylor slips to the outside. He weighs 202 pounds, and he can run. And a penalty flag goes down as Taylor is knocked out on the sideline. And he gets up gimpy. Oh, boy.
And you're going to have a clip.
Yep. Against the Huskers.
Taylor on a sprint out. The clip will come to the right.
On the offense. Repeat first down.
Right here, you're going to see what they call a clip. That's a clip from behind. Taylor got up limping.
Stays in.
That's all you need to do is get your head beaten in the first half on the West Coast and then lose your quarterback.
Yep.
You've got to ask the question, though, Keith, is UCLA this good, or has Nebraska just been overrated? I think it's just a matter of Nebraska has not been playing well in the first half.
Taylor on a little delay gives the ball away to Ken Clark. And Clark with a good gain. A penalty flag is thrown up at the 32 as Clark is ruled down. And let's see about this one. Flags are starting to fly here with 3.5 minutes to go in the first half. Face mask. Question is, was it 5 or was it 15? If they held it and twisted it, Eric Turner had him.
Face mask. 5 yards.
No.
Defense.
Inadvertent. We'll have the Prudential halftime report, scores and highlights of games. It's a new way of spelling highlights. We'll also interview Miami quarterback Steve Walsh. And we'll be seeing the Miami Hurricanes, ranked #1 again, against the Michigan Wolverines as the second part of our doubleheader next week. That was the 8th UCLA penalty in the game. And Taylor rolls it right, gets some pressure, and dumps the pass off. And we've got 2 flags. Carnell Lake was after Taylor. And I think Carnell may get flagged for being overly aggressive.
Carnell Lake was trying to pressure Steve Taylor.
Intentional grounding against the blue, the white. We've got a face mask against the blue. Penalties declined. Repeat the down.
They offset. They're not declined.
This game is getting a little raggedy, as that is a good call on intentional grounding and a good call on a face mask. Looks like something out of the WWF.
3 minutes and 17 seconds to play now in the first half as Lake, one of the fastest players on the field, playing an outside linebacker position for UCLA. They go to the wishbone for the first time in a ball game. Put Lance Lewis in the lineup, and the option down the line, pitch it to Clark. Clark isn't going anywhere in particular as he is rolled down hard just over the 40. So the Huskers just haven't been able to find any room to operate against the swarming UCLA defensive bunch.
Well, take a look at their possessions in the first half. If they haven't punted, it's been a fumble or 2 interceptions.
Second down and 7. Lake is coming. Taylor gets it away, complete to the tight end, Todd Milliken, the senior from Shenandoah, Iowa. And he will have a first down for Nebraska. Matt Darby, that freshman, redshirt freshman from Virginia, made the hit on Milliken.
Keith, what has happened with this huge lead that UCLA has built up is that it's taken away the threat of Oklahoma's run. I mean, Nebraska's run entirely. They pride themselves on play-action passes. They've got to just drop back and throw.
That's Steve Taylor. And caught and wrestled down at the 38, and that's another Nebraska first down. I'll tell you what, Bob, if they take it and stick it in the end zone by the end of this half, we could still have a pretty good ball game.
It's a quarterback draw, and I agree. I don't think this game is over by any stretch of the imagination, knowing how many points that Nebraska can put on the board. But their offense has got to stop making mistakes, and the defense has got to stop the Bruin offense.
Defense, you got to start playing. First down, Taylor gets it off, sideline. Only 1 foot needed in college, and that one is good to Morgan Gregory. And he's out of bounds at about the 22-yard line. Well, they came in yesterday. It's a fragile thing, this element of concentration. Remember when Gregory was wide open down here and Taylor hit it right on the numbers and he dropped the ball? Yeah. It's a fragile thing. First down, Huskers. Just outside the UCLA 22. Taylor stands up, throws to the corner. No! Incomplete, intended for chip ball. Nebraska with all 3 timeouts remaining. 1:57 to go first half.
This ball could have very easily been picked off. Turner, 24.
Half a step at the touchdown.
He threw it about as good as he could throw it. He threw it about as good as he could throw it. Nebraska, as I said, not used to being in this type of situation.
Second down and 10. They'll run it. And Clark will get it down near the 17. He's 200 pounds, a junior from Omaha.
Osborne calls all the plays, and I'm sure he's not used to having to call plays when you're 31 points behind and you're still in the first half. But it takes a lot of his choices away from him when you're down that much.
Timeout, Nebraska. 2 left. City Hall, downtown Pasadena. We're at the Rose Bowl. The sun now is beginning to slide down the western horizon.
We're not.
All right, Coach Osborne has made up his mind. It is 3rd down and 6 for Nebraska. Short of the Bruins, 17. And it, pop it outside. And carrying is Lance Lewis inside the 10, down to close to the 7, and a first down. And that stops your clock at 1:43 to go in the first half. So the Bruins gambled. They sent backers into the middle, thinking Nebraska might have run that way. They were trying to blitz to get to Taylor, and they didn't do it. And Lewis got outside.
That was a good run by Lewis, and he's a true freshman in there also. He saw the blitz, stacked up inside, and bounced to the outside.
Call it 1st and goal from the UCLA 8. Taylor keeps it. Throws it. Touchdown, Morgan Gregory. It was close to the back line, but he got the foot down clearly.
It was close. A play action into the line. Gregory's up here. Is going to come all the way across the field. A big confidence booster for the Cornhuskers. The safety comes out of the field, middle of the field. And an excellent throw by Taylor. Had to be on the money.
So Gregory counts 1. Chris Gunnan for the extra point. He missed it. He missed it. He missed it. They're not out of the woods yet. It's now 38-13, and that is the first miss after he had hit 58 in a row.
What else is going to go wrong for Nebraska? As you take another look at the touchdown, Gregory beats the jam of Henley. Henley almost catches up, and a perfect throw gets the touchdown.
So the struggle continues for the University from Lincoln.
The flash in their eyes when all of a sudden someone has gone from not knowing to knowing.
It's very
I think Dr. Tom is getting a little hot. Here's the kick. They tried to pop it up and get their people underneath it, but David Keating messed up that thinking and made the fair catch. Well, actually not a fair catch, but he made the catch of the pop fly to return it to the 32.
Let's go back to that extra point. Check out the snap. And the hold. Ball went right through his hands and hit his chest. Looked like it got back on the tee all right, though.
All right, yeah. But it's a miss.
You know, and nobody feels worse than that place kicker. It's the last thing you need is a place kicker to mess up when you finally score before going in at halftime, and now it's something else to think about, a missed extra point.
It's first down for UCLA. They're 33, minute 14 to play in the ball game. And Eric Ball has it for the Bruins. He'll move it to the 36, a pickup from 3 yards. And you would think here that UCLA is going to be very happy just to grind it out and run off the clock.
Let's take a look at the possessions for UCLA. You can see what they have done in their possessions. The first 3 times they scored on their own. Then they had the punt return, an interception for a touchdown, a field goal, and a touchdown. And that tells you right there that Nebraska's defense hasn't been too good.
Aikman gives it to Eric Ball.
Eric Ball.
Nebraska defensive flow getting a little better as the game is worn on. And the clock running now with 20 seconds to go in the first half, and the Huskers are not going to kill it. And you know the Bruins aren't going to kill it. Well, wait a minute. Nebraska. So Tom called timeout. It is third down. They blew about 12 seconds before they called it. But it's third down and close to 4 yards right now for
Tom
UCLA.
feels if I can get them to punt, I got another chance to score a touchdown. They've had one of the better punt return teams in the nation. I'll tell you, there's one man that hadn't given up right there.
That's Rick Neuheisel right there talking to Troy Aikman. Rick, of course, hung around and struggled and persevered and survived and suddenly finally got his chance in his senior year and took him for the Rose Bowl.
He was a walk-on for UCLA, just as Terry Donahue was as defensive tackle at UCLA. Neuheisel was as a graduate assistant, has now worked his way up to being quarterback coach and was given credit for helping develop Troy Aikman when he came over from Oklahoma.
All right, the Huskers have one more timeout, so they may jump on it and call timeout right after this play. Let's see if they do. Yep.
Very close to a
9 seconds. And it'll bring up fourth down. They won't either. He got just enough. He turned his shoulders, squared his shoulders, got his legs under him, and got just enough. So the effort by Nebraska to force UCLA to punt doesn't work. And now the Bruins, for sure, will let the clock expire. First half is over. A surprise. UCLA 38, Nebraska 13 from the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. Well, we'll see if the Husker ship sails in better waters in the second half. Now, Al Crawford.
Okay, Keith.
Our score at halftime at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. UCLA 38, Nebraska 13. Yes, a surprise. Now let's join Mike Adamle.
Throughout this 1988 college football season, we'll be recognizing those players who excel both academically and athletically.
A team that may be tough in the Pac-10 conference. How does Nebraska get back in a ball game, Bob Greasy?
Well, they still have a chance, and Tom Osborne has got to convince them of that at halftime, but they don't have a chance if they continue to play the way they did in the first half. Nebraska can score 25 points in a half, but they need to shut down UCLA, and so far they haven't done that.
Maybe the UCLA will have to make some mistakes in order for Nebraska to get back into the ball game. Now let's rejoin Mike Adamle for an unusual moment.
Keith, a very special story here in Pasadena, and certainly an unusual first here for a college football game. Eric Van Fleek and Suzanne May Snyder, both Nebraska natives, about to become man and wife. Let's pick up some of the ceremony.
I do. Eric and have vowed to be loyal and loving toward each other, formalizing in our presence the existence of the bond between them. We bear witness to the ceremony they have performed, the ceremony that has made them husband and wife. Would you exchange rings?
Eric Van Fleet and Suzanne May Snyder about to exchange rings and become man and wife. 38-13 the score here at halftime between UCLA and Nebraska, and a very special moment for these two newlyweds. We'll be back after these messages.
Well, so far it has been an all UCLA party at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. You can see now nightfall is at hand, and we're ready to go with the second half of play. Kirk Maggio to kick it off for the Bruins to Terry Rogers and Richard Bell. 38-13 UCLA. Well, so far it has been an all UCLA party at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. You can see now nightfall is at hand, and we're ready to go with the second half of play. Kirk Maggio to kick it off for the Bruins to Terry Rogers and Richard Bell. 38-13 UCLA leads. They led it 1.28-0. It's a high short kick. Terry Rogers fumbles the ball, rolling around on the 3. He had it in his hand, put his knee down, and they didn't call him down. And he gets back to the 5. Well, we had one of football's most unusual plays develop in the first half on the basis of an official not making a call, but it looked to me like he was down right back there on the 3.
Well, whether he was down or not, and no, he didn't touch. This is not the way that Tom Osborne wanted to start out. The special teams had an opportunity to come out and set a good tempo for Nebraska and did just the opposite.
All right, it's Ken Clark, Lance Lewis, part of that wishbone set up at the 5-yard line. Steve Taylor down the line with it, keeps it, turns and gets a couple of yards. The halftime stats read this way.
Time of possession is a key. Nebraska usually dominates. They have been dominated, and turnovers, 2 interceptions and a fumble for Nebraska have all led to touchdowns.
Fetzenstein comes into the ball game for the Cornhuskers, so they'll go with a double tight end alignment and probably put a man on the wing. Richard Bell is the man on the wing out of the power I set. Second down and 8 for Steve Taylor. He's going to throw the ball. Throws underneath. It is intercepted. No, almost. It is not intercepted.
Almost.
Chance Johnson was the man who almost came out of there with it. So Chance, number 7, almost had a moment of glory, didn't he?
Chance had a chance. Play action. Sometimes when you do play action, you lose sight of the linebackers, and right there, as you saw, a good shot from behind. He didn't see Chance until the whole thing opened up, and then he said, let me throw a knuckleball so he can't catch this thing. 3rd down and 8 for the Huskers. UCLA offsides on the play. Made contact. A nose guard, Jim Waller, who has played very, very well tonight in the middle of that UCLA defensive front. That time tried to anticipate, and Taylor fooled him. While they're marking off the penalty, let's pause 5 seconds so our stations can tell you who they are.
This is KETV, Channel 7, Omaha.
Has struggled all night and trailed by 28-0 at one point. Finally got their second touchdown to close out the half, but then missed the extra point. Brennan missing for the first time after 58 in a row at Nebraska. Now, what'll Dr. Tom Osborne call here? The official stopping it. Jim Springer is the referee. Probably something to do with the clock. I didn't notice if it was running or not. Clock probably was running, and they probably want to put some back on the, put some time back on it. He's come across to talk to the liaison man. And I think that's what they're looking for, because the clock was running and it should not have been running during the course of a penalty assessment. It is 3rd down and 3 right now. All right. Now we proceed. Ball is out at the 12. 3rd down and 3. The pitch goes to Ken Clark, and Clark will have his first down. Got just enough as he hammered his way across the 15-yard line to the 17. Yeah, 1968. Bob Devaney was the coach, and he never forgot it. Oh, was Bob there? I guess he.
Bob Devaney and Tom Osborne was the offensive coordinator.
Yeah. All right, on 1st down, Steve Taylor gives to the I-back. And into the crowd, Clark. He'll move it out to the 20, pick up of 3 yards on that carry.
This is a critical series for Nebraska and also UCLA. If UCLA can stop Nebraska, you take a look at what they've done rushing by downs. They've done well on any down, but if UCLA can stop them here, they'll regain the momentum they had in the first half.
Good news for those of you worrying about Dana Brinson. He's back in the ball game. He's all right. It's Taylor's pass thrown to the sidelines, and Dana is out of bounds. Didn't get a foot down inside. I imagine there are a lot of folks down in Valdosta, Georgia, happy to see him back in action too, because he took a terrible lick, literally knocked out by Matt Darby, the strong safety of the Bruins, in the first half.
We talked about in the opening about the two styles of these two ball clubs, about Nebraska being the power and the toughness and the physicalness. They also have some speed about him. Brinson is one of them. He can pick him up and move out. He's about a 4.37, 40-yard sprinter.
And Nate Turner now are the wideouts as Taylor drops to throw it. He's in trouble, and his pass is incomplete. Eric Smith had a hold of him, but there was a Cornhusker receiver in the neighborhood where he threw the ball, and no flag.
This is Eric Smith rushing on Sledge, number 62. The ball should be gone by now. Sledge did what he's supposed to do, run him around. And a nice job of Taylor just getting rid of the football.
The sun sinking in the west, out over the Pacific. And the lights are on full at the Rose Bowl. Croker's punt for Nebraska. Low line drive that gives Henley some room. Darrell Henley ran one back 75 yards earlier, turns it upfield, and brings it back to the 37-yard line before Jamie Warden can bring him down. 35-yard punt and an 18-yard return.
The leaders for UCLA, Aikman is 182 yards and 3 touchdowns. Ball leads the rushing with 73 yards. Willis, the freshman, also has 73 and a touchdown. Arbuckle with 5 receptions. UCLA just continues to dominate. Defensively. That punt return almost broke.
Troy Aikman at quarterback. Eric Ball, the I-back or tailback. Estwick, the fullback.
Eric Ball.
And it's Ball, who had a big first half, moving across the 35 to the 34. That's going to be close to a 3-yard pickup for him. Brungard made the tackle. Big Paul, sophomore from Battle Creek, Nebraska. Rangy fellow.
He's 6'7". He's going up against Minifield, who's only 6'1".
Make that a 2-yard pickup. Call it 2nd down and 8. Aikman looks, has time, throws it down the sidelines, and it is incomplete. Tim Jackson almost picked it off. Let's now quickly join Al Trafford.
Keith, a couple of lopsided scores are now official. First of all, the Seminoles of Florida State roll over Southern Miss. Alabama in Philadelphia crushes the Owls, and Penn State over Virginia 42-14. Blair Thomas did not play. Back to you, Keith.
A lot of points rolled up in those ball games. 3rd down and 8. Three wide outs, and Aikman rolls to the open field. Gets it off underneath. Pass caught by Mike Farr, and Farr is past the marker and has a first down for UCLA.
It's a little rollout. Farr is right here. The outside man will go straight down. Aikman will roll out and hit him just on a down and out. Easy completion because the quarterback is outside of containment, sees everything in front of him, has a clear lane to throw. It's like picking apples.
Bruins on the Husker 24. Eric Ball. Couple of yards. UCLA in no hurry now, leading 38-13 in the 3rd quarter with just under 12 minutes to go. And not seemingly inclined to start making any mistakes to help the Cornhuskers.
The only thing UCLA needs to do now offensively, first of all, don't help anybody out. Don't make any mistakes. No fumbles, no interceptions. And move the ball. If we score, it's great. But don't help them.
Brendan McCracken and Mike Farr wide outs to the bottom of the picture. They run it with Eric Ball twisting inside and comes up a couple of yards short of his first down marker. Mike Adamle now.
Keith, you know, back in 1972, that was the last time UCLA beat Nebraska. And a pair of quarterbacks on that Bruin team. They don't need any introduction here in Pasadena. Mark Harmon, the starter, and the backup John Shara, who later replaced Mark. What do you remember most about that game? 20-17, you guys won it.
Thank God for Efren Herrera. That's what I remember, right? It was a great game and great to be part of it. And all I know is this is something special. Who'd have thought this today, huh?
John and I's recall, they were the ranked #1 in the country. Nebraska had won 34 consecutive games coming in. They had people like Rich Glover, the All-American nose tackle.
Yeah, they had an outstanding team. Johnny Rogers was on that team. David Hum was a quarterback, and obviously they were heavily favored. And Mark had kind of the game of his life, and needed to have one, and played extremely well. And we ended up winning the game.
Now, 16 years later, the Bruins are doing it again and looking awfully good as well.
Yeah, I'd say so. Wherever Rick Sutcliffe is, he's in big trouble. I know that.
Okay. Mark, John, good to see you both. Okay. Enjoy the game. Keith?
John, of course, went on to a successful career in professional ball as a defensive player. 34-yard field goal try by Velasco. It's good. He's made 11 in a row going back to last season. 10:41 to play in the football game, and UCLA now leads it 41-13.
It's Chevy versus Ford, compact and full-size pickups in a test of standard four-wheel drive systems. They start in two-wheel drive, but they're going to have to shift into four-wheel to make it across the ditch of doom. The Chevy shift and keep going, but the Ford drivers have to stop and lock hubs. Why is America having a change of heart in pickups? Chevy gives you standard shift on the fly, Insta-Track. Ford doesn't.
The heartbeat of America, that's the day Chevy truck.
Gentlemen, would you choose hamburger A from Wendy's, made fresh to your order, or B that's made ahead so you take what they give you?
They choose B. It reminds them of hamburger they love in homeland.
But wouldn't they like to taste the delicious Wendy's hamburger?
They choose B. It reminds them of hamburger they love in homeland.
But they seem to prefer A.
What, are you deaf from hearing? They choose B.
Most teams prefer fresh hamburgers like Wendy's, where you get the best burgers in the business.
I'm Frank Gifford. Join us Monday as the Dallas Cowboys head into Phoenix to take on the Cardinals. It's ABC's NFL Monday Night Football, the only way to kick off your week.
There's your time remaining in the 3rd quarter. Maggio will kick it off again for the Bruins with Rogers and Bell waiting. Gets it up, but he doesn't get it too deep, and that one hits the sideline and goes out of bounds at about the 18, so obviously Nebraska's going to want him to do it again. The Goodyear Blimp Columbia out of Gardena, California, with Captain Tom Mattis, who comes out of Pittsburgh, PA. At the controls, right after the game, the Columbia is going to leave for Phoenix and will be there for ABC's NFL Monday Night Football. It takes about 13 hours for the Blimps to hustle over to Phoenix. That is, unless the wind turns around on them. Back to the 30 from the Bruins kicker Kirk Maggio now, with Bell and Rogers moving up to the 15. It's Rogers at the 17. Gets it out to the 30. You got a flag.
35-yard line.
Procedure call against UCLA, and I certainly would think Nebraska would want to make them kick off from the 25.
I would think any chance you got a return or something to run something back, get a big play, that Nebraska would want to do that. You know, looking at Terry Donahue, he's done an outstanding job of just rebuilding this team. 10 of his players from last year's team were drafted in the NFL draft, and 8 of them made the rosters when they cut down to 47 a couple of weeks ago. He has 4 returning starters on offense and 4 returning starters on defense. That's less than anybody else in the Pac-10, and everybody still picks him to win the Pac-10. And Terry said, well, I don't know why, but I'm flattered that they're picking us. It talks a little bit about their recruiting.
Well, you said it earlier about Jimmy Johnson down in Miami reloading. That's what he's doing.
That's right.
And that's what Tom Osborne does. All right, they take it back to the 25. Tom motioning to Todd Milliken to come to the sidelines. He wants to say something to him. I think what he wanted to say was, Todd, you're the 12th man. Get off the field.
We don't need you out there, right?
This is a low-line drive that bounces to Richard Bell, and Richard finally gets a chance to carry it. He's the young man from California, and he's rolled up pretty well. I think he lost the ball. And Nebraska gets it back. So he did lose it down on his 35. The Bruins dove for it, but couldn't come up with it. Yeah, Santa Monica Mountains. I can see my house right over there. There's the look down off the San Gabriels, the Santa Monicas, across the valleys, and now eventually into the grand old city of Pasadena.
You could be home, what, in about 25 minutes?
Yep. Nice.
Not getting out of here tonight.
Taylor hands it off on that little delay. Coming back, Brinson on the counter. And didn't fool many folks.
That's the backdoor draw.
Yep.
Didn't fool Davis.
Craig is out of Tucson, Arizona. He's a junior. You're seeing a lot of teams, Bob, go with a quick, relatively light linebacking core now. Speed, quickness. Taylor back, hands the ball off. Ken Clark had some daylight, but out of the referee's pocket came a penalty flag. And when the referee throws a flag, the offense has got a problem. And it's on Nebraska. Illegal motion or procedure.
Take a look from behind the offense. Clark started a little early. Got the snap count wrong. It was on 3, and he thought it was on 2.
Now Taylor on second down, drops straight back to throw. Hums one to Gregory, and Morgan Gregory hauls it in, but Chance Johnson and Nat Darby haul him in with some authority. And they're going to be looking now at 3rd and long. 3rd down and about 7.
Nebraska is totally out of their offensive scheme. They look like they don't know what they're doing, and the reason because obviously they're behind by a lot of points, but the running game is not going either.
No rhythm. They've had UCLA has never given them a chance to get into a rhythm for the game. Taylor hums it, and that one is almost intercepted by Carnell Lake. Todd Bell was the intended receiver, and 31 almost came away with it instead of 21. Well, the Giants beat Houston today in a tough National League West. Roger Clemens, I understand, had a one-hitter in that ball game as New York beat Detroit in the American League East. And the Tigers now really beginning to fade.
It's interesting how different teams have led that Eastern Division all year long.
Almost every sport in the world now has played in the surges, isn't it? Up and down. On 4th down, they snap it inside, trying to go for it, break it big, carrying the ball is Brian Carpenter, the fullback, and he takes it deep into UCLA territory for a 1st down. They mark him out of bounds at the Bruin 35. And now Tom Osborne is going to the back page of his playbook.
The up back that's the snap. Good play.
Well, you're down 41-13. You can't be standing around grunting about it. They might as well try to go ahead and do something.
Yeah, Osborne pulling it out when he needs it.
Taylor runs away from one Bruin pursuer. Mike Lodish, and picks up some yardage on the play. He's out of bounds at about the 27-yard line.
Let's go back and take a look at that gimmick play. The snap's going to go here, but the punter will jump in the air as if the ball went over his head. Watch the punter. Opens to the right side. Big 1st down, and a nice call by Tom Osborne.
High back Clark trying to pick up the 1st down. He's going to be close, but I don't think he got it. The score we gave you with the Yankees beating Detroit. Ball is on the 26-yard line. Seattle's young pitching staff becoming quite a story in the American League too. Boy, they got some good young ones. And Baltimore starting to play a little better toward the end of the season. 3rd down and 1 for the Huskers. Taylor keeps it, 1st down, and inside the 15, down to the 12-yard line. Steve Taylor slid down the line 2 steps, found his hole, and took off.
Both men are runners. Taylor can run as well as Clark.
You know, that goes back to the old Belly series. Out of the old T formation, which Bobby Dodd used so successfully. It's the same action. Taylor dropped back, runs it back up the middle on a quarterback draw, and inside the 5, down to the 3, with 7 minutes and 50 seconds to play in the 3rd quarter. Eric Turner made the tackle for the Bruins.
The key for this Nebraska offense is number 9, Steve Taylor. And you're seeing him do what he does best. He runs the draw, he runs the option. He is not a great drop-back passer, but if you mix it in and use the play action, he can burn you with passes. He threw 5 touchdown passes last year in Lincoln against this UCLA team, but they were ahead, and the running game was going a lot better than it's going tonight.
Ken Clark dives and gets to the 1. Brian Carpenter's in at fullback. Sam Schmidt hurt a knee in the 2nd quarter and has not been able to return. It looked like a knee. It might have been a sprained ankle. Sam's still on the sidelines with bad news. He's got crutches. Ball is at the 2. Taylor doesn't get it. Well, clearly Taylor now is not going to risk giving the ball to anybody else. He's trying to do it himself. But as he does this, he's going to get beat up. He's going to get tired.
Now, Tom Osborne is just concerned about scoring, obviously, but he also has got to start thinking about the clock and the time. He's going to score any way he can. Here's a look at the UCLA rush defense, ranked 4th in the nation, allowing only 93 yards, and that's one of the reasons why Nebraska's having such a tough time running the football.
It's 2nd down and goal from the Bruin 1. Taylor over the top. Touchdown, Nebraska. So the folks wearing red now start to make a little noise with 6:09 to play in the 3rd quarter. It's 41-19, and the place kicker Drennan comes out.
Just have to break the plane of the goal line. Could be one tired young man tonight.
Drennan missed his first extra point last time they scored a touchdown. This time the snap's good, the hold is good, the kick is good. And so Nebraska pulls within 21. And we have 21 minutes and 9 seconds remaining in the ball game.
Hello.
Of the University of California in 1919. Since then, they have hung 16 NCAA championship plaques in that room. But a lot of people involved, and the big mover in that whole development was an old friend of mine and friend of thousands of people, J.D. Moore.
Terry Donahue would like to win another national championship for UCLA.
Brendan McCracken and Sean Wills now assume the receiving position as Nebraska kicks it off. Brennan hits it. And it is Wills having a little trouble getting a handle on it. And he's still churning and gets it up across the 15 near the 17. So Sean Wills given a chance to find a crack. Who knows? He is a strong young runner. We got a doubleheader for you next week. Notre Dame and Michigan State at East Lansing. They started at 12 noon Eastern. And right after that, down the road at Ann Arbor, top-ranked and defending national champion Miami against the Michigan Wolverines.
And it's good to see Bo Schembechler back in good health and doing what he likes to do best, and that's coaching college football.
Now UCLA sets it up, call it the 18-yard line, 1st down. Eric Ball is the I-back. He has it, hammers into the middle, and he moves it out to the 23. When you're picking up 6 yards on 1st down, well, Bo's having a little trouble tonight. They finally scored. It was 10-0 Notre Dame for a while. Florida State scored big to bounce back from Derek Francing. And Florida squeezed by Ole Miss, with Alabama shutting out Temple. 2nd down, 4+ for the Bruins. Ball's got it again. And Eric turns it up close to the 29. If he got over the 28, he'll have his 1st down. And it looks to me like they've marked it beyond the sticks and the half.
The distribution of the passes that Aikman has thrown to wide receivers, he's thrown 3 to the flankers. He's thrown twice. That's really a wide receiver. So 5 to the wide receivers, 7 to the tight end, and none to the offensive backs.
From the 29, a 1st down. Ball is the workhorse. Just over the 31 for a couple of yards. Chewing up the clock now. 4:40 to play in the ball game.
Talk about Aikman. Talk about national championships. UCLA. He'd like to get another national championship. He has 1 ring from Oklahoma. He was on that '85 championship team. If he gets another one, he'd be the only NCAA player to win a national championship in the same sport with 2 schools.
Etienne had the ball in his hands and green grass in front of him. Pass intended for Charles Arbuckle, and Etienne didn't hold on to it.
This has not been one of Etienne's better games. He missed a bunch of tackles starting off. Has an opportunity here to make a big play. That would have been a tough catch.
Yep.
For linebackers, that's a tough catch.
Yeah, he
they take those hands
tape.
up.
He doesn't wear much tape.
No, he doesn't. But they usually don't have soft hands either.
Third and long. Aikman drops it underneath to Brendan McCracken, and McCracken is thrown down right about the 39. Close to the first down. Looking across the way where he's got it marked with his right foot, it will be a first down. We're at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena with UCLA jumping out to a 28-0 lead over the Cornhuskers of Nebraska. They've run it up to 41 points. Nebraska has come back some to make it a 41-20 ball game, and now we have a penalty against the Bruins for holding. Never saw the flag. Somewhere in the bottom of the stack there was the holding call. So that spoils that first down. 10-yard penalty makes it now 3rd down and 20.
Bruins have dominated this game, and they've also dominated in the penalty department.
3rd down and 18. Yeah, they got 12.
12 penalties.
3rd and 18 here. 3:54 to go, 3rd quarter. Well, they're not going to get fancy. They bounce Eric Ball outside, and he gets it up to the 30. And from there, the Bruins will punt. There we got another penalty flag.
A late flag.
Maybe a frustration flag, huh? That's it. That's first down.
That is a critical foul there, because they had possession of the football. They were going to have to punt it to Nebraska. Now UCLA maintains possession, and what can be going through Tom Osborne's mind right now? I mean, everything has gone wrong that could possibly go wrong, and one thing even went in his favor, which was a touchdown that should have never been his way, but he's got to be just perplexed.
Eric Ball has now carried the ball 23 times for 106 yards in the game. He's been the workhorse for UCLA. Bruins have it, first down, out on their own 45-yard line after that personal foul penalty.
I mean, that is a critical mistake.
Yeah, that had pretty good field position off that punt. Ball's got it again, and hammered after a pickup of 3. Reggie Cooper and Mark Blazek, 2 safeties, got to him. They would have had the ball, I would think, just with a normal acceptance of a punt somewhere around their 30 or 35-yard line. But the personal foul took it away from them. UCLA's night so far. And time now becoming the ally of the Bruins, leading by 21. 2nd and 7. Up man, Estwick, the fullback, fumbles a ball, and Nebraska, no, UCLA keeps it. Nebraska man got up, looked like he was going to go into a victory dance, but Estwick apparently is the man who covered the ball.
Right there, Broderick Thomas, the All-American candidate, knocks it out, but Estwick gets it back.
Speaking of Broderick Thomas, we haven't called his name a whole lot.
Not a whole lot. It's one of the men that UCLA wanted to take out of the game, and so far they have.
3rd and 7. Penalty flag as Aikman completes the pass to the tight end, Corwin Anthony, and Anthony is brought down at the Nebraska 39-yard line. Let's see if the play will stand. When the game got one-sided, it started getting ragged, and it's remained a bit ragged. It's against the Bruins. It wipes out the play. That's
here it is.
13 penalties.
Excuse me, Keith. Here it is here, although it won't count. This is what UCLA has been doing all night, running people deep and then bringing the underneath receiver, whether it's a tight end or a wide receiver, underneath the route, and it's easy passing, easy completions for Aikman, but that's all you need. ball control, keep it out of the hands of Nebraska.
See, the Bruin penalty situation is a load.
Third down, 12.
That last one called against Nebraska really hurt them. Third down, 12. Aikman gets some heat, runs away from it. Throws back across the field, incomplete. Intended for Reggie Moore, and he short-hopped it in front of Charles Fryer. Jeff Mills was the man pursuing Aikman and chased him out of the pocket. And now UCLA will punt for the third time this year in their 2 games. But what happened there now, instead of Nebraska getting the ball with close to 4 minutes remaining in the quarter, now they get the ball with only a minute and a half remaining in the third
Nebraska's
quarter.
defense had to stop them twice, and as you say, they lost 3 or 4 minutes because of that personal foul.
Harold Barcade in to punt for the Bruins, and it is Richard Bell and Morgan Gregory, the deep people, and that's a beauty. It's Gregory at the 15. Got a block on the corner, but can't turn it upfield. So good kick coverage by UCLA on a 41-yard punt by Barcade, a 4-yard return, and the Cornhuskers will go to work at their own 19. 1:19 to play in the third quarter, and UCLA leading 41-20. Well, there glows in the soul of every person who plays a competitive game that they can still do it. There aren't very many possessions that are going to be more important than this for Nebraska as Tyrese Knox steps in for the first time at the I-back position. Steve Taylor wants to throw it, does. Long pass across field to the sidelines, and he's lucky to get it back. He's 1 out of 6 in this half for 6 yards. And that kind of a pass thrown, what, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 28 yards. And he had to throw it hard.
So look at the comparison. Taylor with 59 yards and Aikman with 193, but Taylor makes up for it with rushing yards. He has to this point 64 rushing yards, 59 passing, so he's well over 100 in total yardage.
Ball is given to Knox, and Knox couldn't unwind as Marcus Patton jumped in and brought him down at the 20, and here's Al Trapridge.
Keith, the Volunteers staged a valiant comeback. They trailed 31-7 in the third quarter, but now they've lost to Tennessee and Georgia and have to take on LSU and Auburn. Duke with the upset tonight in Knoxville in front of 93,000. Back to you.
Boy, is that a big win for the Duke Blue Devils and Steve Spurrier. Woo. Third down. About 9 yards. Bell, first down. Huskers. He made a tough catch on the sidelines. Henley hit him. Took his legs away from him, but he hung on, and the Huskers get off the hook.
It's Bell right here. The outside receiver is going to run this corner off, and he's just going to come and hook. Pretty good design play, pretty well. It's called a trailer. Just hangs in the open area and takes a tough hit, but hangs on to the football.
Here comes Knox, the I-back. He's the bigger of the running backs at 5'10", 215. He's also a Californian from Daly City and a senior. And time gone. After 3 quarters of play, the UCLA Bruins ranked number 5 in the nation, leading the Nebraska Cornhuskers ranked number 2 in the nation by 21 points.
Listen to ABC's College Football is brought to you by the Heartbeat of America, today's Chevrolet, and by the Bartles & James Premium Wine Cooler Company.
The Bruin helmet, which is actually a carrier. They haven't had to use it tonight. They have been mobile and hostile. It is second down, Nebraska. In a 41-20 ball game, the handoff goes to Brian Carpenter, the fullback, who has not seen it much tonight, and he's held up 2 yards short of the first down. So now comes a big play. The Huskers hopes to get back in the hunt in this final period of play. Rose Bowl, of course, the home of the UCLA Bruins. They play their home games here. Of course, they want to play one more every year as the Pac-10 champions, and you'll see the Rose Bowl this year on ABC Sports. Richard Bell goes in motion. Penalty coming here. Whistle stopping it before it got going.
Penalty flag.
Huskers make another mistake.
Take a look at the UCLA defense and what they did last year. This is no weakling defense that the Cornhuskers are trying to come back on. They led the Pac-10 in a lot of different categories. 3 defensively, total defense, rushing, and scoring. So this is a tough defense that Steve Taylor is trying to put some points on the board against.
That mistake makes it 3rd and 7. Taylor takes off, dives for the marker, and I don't think he got there. He's going to be close.
Well, whether he made it or not, Keith, they have to go for it on 4th down.
Chance Johnson and John Pryor teamed up for the tackle.
And I think Tom Osborne, who called the play, 3rd and long yardage, knew that if he didn't make it on 3rd, he'd go for it on 4th, so it was 2 downs to make the yardage.
Well, he's about a handful short. Oh, he's not either. Yep. He got a good spot. Now, that wouldn't be a terribly bad night if it was a 21-20 ball game. But it's not. It's 41-20. First down for the Huskers. Taylor still got it. Throws it back in the middle for Todd Milliken, the tight end, and underthrows him, and Milliken was available. He was open.
Todd Milliken. Second and 10.
Here's the way the top 10 teams have done. Miami didn't play. Nebraska's losing. Clemson won, but not by a whole bunch. 28-0 Oklahoma at Chapel Hill. Southern California had to score very late in the game to beat Stanford. Auburn won. So did Georgia. Bulldogs look pretty tough. Notre Dame leading at halftime over Michigan, and Florida State bounced back for a win. It was a lot more than 28-10, wasn't it? Into the middle goes Brian Carpenter, the fullback, on 2nd down and 10. He'll have 6 yards on the carry.
Tom Osborne staying with his offense, which is run. He doesn't have the players to drop back in a pro-style set and just throw the ball downfield. He's got to mix the run and pass.
Taylor checking off. Penalty flag goes down as Taylor dances around and throws it deep, and it is incomplete. And let's see about the flag. Nate Turner on the fly down the sidelines with Marcus Turner of UCLA defending.
Penalty flag on the field.
The Cornhuskers. Dana Brinson going too soon.
UCLA leads in just about everything except turnovers, and that's one that you don't want to lead in. They also lead in penalties. 13 for 90 yards.
The Nebraska running picked up a little bit in the third quarter, 85 yards. But as Bob said, it's hard to come back that far running. Taylor hums it to the sidelines and virtually no chance on the play. Because Morgan Gregory was down there and well covered. And that is a very hard pass to throw. And on 4th and long now, they're going to bring Coker into the ball game to punt it away. 12:51 to play in the ball game. Well, the question, you asked it early, and people are going to be asking it for some time here. Is Nebraska overrated, or was it just a bad night? Or is UCLA truly this good?
I think it's a little bit of all of the above.
Beautiful high kick this time by Coker. Henley lets it go into the end zone. That was a beauty, 54-yarder. But it comes back out to the 20. And the Bruins remain comfortable.
Today, we're going to find...
You're scoring by quarters. We have 12:42 to go in the 4th. UCLA owning the lead and the ball. First down at their 20. Eric Ball. Close to 4 yards. Randall Jopman made the stop for the Cornhuskers. Mike Adamle.
Keith, it's been interesting to watch the Nebraska players on the bench here, despite the fact that they're down by 21. You don't get the feeling that they think that they're out of it. Sure, there is care, there is concern, but there is not resignation. As far as Tom Osborne is concerned, they ought to put his face on Mount Rushmore. His expression exactly the same as it was at the beginning of the game.
Well, Dr. Tom's been up and down, mostly up. Mostly up. If he could have won this game tonight, it would be number 150 for him. Eric Ball turning outside, held well short of the first down, picks up a couple of yards on that carry. Interesting that Tom Osborne's first win as a head coach in Nebraska was over UCLA, and his number 100 came with a win over UCLA. This one tonight would have been 150. The Bruins have been a cornerstone in Tom Osborne's career, haven't they?
Certainly have.
Third down and 4. Aikman down the middle, a little bit too high. Intended for Mike Farr. Mike couldn't reel it in, so they'll punt it. Richard Bell and Morgan Gregory go back as the deep people for Nebraska. And Barcade is in to punt. He's only punted one time tonight. That was a 41-yarder.
Morgan Gregory and Richard Bell, DTC.
Cornhuskers try to get in some rush on him. And they let the ball bounce. And it goes back to the 25-yard line. Catch the ball. You do not run away from the ball. You catch it. That winds up a 49-yard punt net.
Listen to the heartbeat.
The new Beretta.
Of America.
A sport coupe that prefers a curve to a straight line, with a special sport suspension to conform to roads that don't conform. And a price as uncommon as the car itself. Beretta. For people who appreciate the not so straight and narrow.
The heartbeat of America.
Beretta.
That's today's Chevrolet. Listen to the heartbeat.
To those who, with a boundless energy and burning spirit, live to be the best, comes a salute from those of us who live by the same values, the U.S. Armed Forces.
I'd go to college.
Me too.
If I had the money.
Yeah.
I'm going to college. on the new GI Bill. You serve full-time in the armed forces or part-time in the reserves, and you earn a lot of money for tuition.
The U.S. Armed Forces. It's a great place to start.
By scoring today, UCLA has extended its NCAA record to 195 games in which they have registered points.
It's a long string to be scoring points. And boy, they've rolled up some here tonight. But not a whole lot of points in the second half.
Well, it hasn't been a good night for the Cornhuskers, and we were just talking about what else can go wrong. This is like a clinic of things not to do. That last punt for Nebraska should have been caught. I'm sure Tom Osborne is going to get a lot of teaching done from these films.
Taylor's pass looped out. Pass is complete for a big gain to Ken Clark, swinging out of the backfield, and a first down at midfield, and this time no flag. Now the speedsters come onto the field as we take another look at it.
The guard pulls, Keeler pulls and blocks to the right. Nice play. Safe pass. Just need to get some yardage.
Brenson, Morgan Gregory, Nate Turner are the wideouts, and penalty flag down as Taylor throws complete to Richard Bell, who gets down to the 40 on the UCLA side. But remember, there is a flag, and it came from the man that's going to penalize the offense. Two folks going at once. Well, you know, you stand over to side hiller in a tough golf match, or you get into a situation where you're down like this late in the ball game. You feel like you got a bowl of oatmeal on your shoulder, don't you?
Repeat first down. Bowl of oatmeal. I tell you, never had that on my shoulders, but I've been down that side hill putt.
Concentration just leaves you, though, when you get a little desperation in you.
You play the game long enough, you're going to be in some of these situations where you're down 21 points in the fourth quarter. There's nothing you can do but just keep plowing. You're up against a good defensive team. You got to give them some credit.
First down and 15. Here's a little delay to the I-back Clark. Clark runs up the middle to midfield, and there he runs into Stacy Argo, a redshirt freshman out of Princeton, California. So he's back for the original line of scrimmage on that carry. 2nd and 10 coming up. Nebraska's next opponent is Arizona State. UCLA's next action is next week Long Beach State here. Long Beach State was plowed under today by Oregon 49-0. Again, that hard pass drilled into the chest of Morgan Gregory by Steve Taylor, who takes it down at the 36 of UCLA, and that's a first down.
Outside the pocket, better vision.
Well, that could have been a flag.
Yeah, late hit up around the shoulders and head.
Yep. That was a foul. Taylor shoots another one, intercepted on the deflection by Matt Darby. And he goes down as he runs into Chip Baugh. Didn't see him, and he ran into him, and he was knocked down. That is the 3rd interception of Steve Taylor tonight.
This ball is going to be deflected right there. UCLA defensive backs last year, 14 different players intercepted a ball. They were 4th in the country in interceptions. 4 of those interceptions were run back for touchdowns, and there was 1 run back here this evening.
So the Bruins now go from the 26-yard line, first down. And Eric Ball has it again. I tell you, Eric's going to sleep pretty well tonight himself at 9:20 to go in the ball game. As we wind this game down, we'll have a continuance of an 18-year tradition, selecting a Chevrolet Most Valuable Player of the game from each of the teams. And Chevrolet will donate a $1,000 scholarship in each player's name to each school as the general scholarship fund for qualified students in pursuing their education. 2nd down, 7. Aikman. Underneath, pass caught. But it's well short. No, they don't rule it complete. Ball came loose as he went down. Mike Farr couldn't bring it to the ground with him.
Here's Frank Cornish. Keith, he had an interesting summer job this year. He was a salesman in a big man shop in Beverly Hills. As a kid, he wanted to be a jockey, but his mother told him that, son, you're already too big to be a jockey, and that was at the age of 4. Says his lifetime ambition now is to own a designer big man shop, and I bet he can do it.
Well, he's a big man. 3rd down and 7. Aikman, good. Pass caught by Mike Farr and good for a first down up at the 41-yard line. You get the feeling, maybe it's because Aikman makes it look so easy, but it's felt all night to me as if he's had a very easy evening.
I think you have to give credit to the UCLA coaches. First of all, Steve Axman, the offensive coordinator, Terry Donahue, preparing this team, what happened to him last year, and getting him ready to play. But you're right, things do look easy, and that's because of the preparation that they put into this.
First down, 41-yard line. Eric Ball works his way up near the 45. Pickup of close to 4. The other team in town, Pasadena, Occidental College was playing tonight against Azusa Pacific just down the road. Eric Ball now 28 carries, 122 yards. Let's pause 5 seconds for our station identification.
This is KETV, Channel 7, Omaha.
8:15 to play in the ball game. Sean Wills is in now at the tailback position and has the ball. He's the freshman from Hanford. And the Huskers get after him in a hurry. Well, that's a young couple who got married at halftime. We showed you the nuptial ceremony. They had a tailgate party out of the parking lot. Tailgating is a big thing here at the Rose Bowl. Then they came inside the stadium. They got married. And they've been sipping a little bit since then. I'm presuming they're UCLA fans. I don't know that for a fact. Nebraska fans. Oh, okay. Well, it's a festive time for them. I think the moment as Broderick Thomas finally gets his hands on Troy Aikman and sacks him. But this particular moment will probably wash away the despair that goes with losing a ball game this decisively.
Thomas at the top of your screen, number 89, keeps his vision. He is the nephew of Chicago Bear middle linebacker Mike Singletary, and he looked like Singletary taking him down that time.
So it brings up a 4th down as Gregory and Bell go deep for the Cornhuskers, and Barcade is in for his 3rd punt now in the second half. 41-49 his previous 2. And this is another good one. Gregory back to the 26. 44-yard punt, 11-yard return. And the clock stops on the change of possession at 7:10. And the Huskers are down by 21 to the Bruins.
This is a machine designed.
UCLA now playing prevent. And deep center field. He just turned it around the corner and picked up a first down from the Nebraska 25, moving out across the 40 to the 41-yard line. And they go to the hurry up as we go inside 7 minutes. Underneath, Brinson turns back, and there's no daylight. Down at the 45. Pick up 3.5 yards. No huddle.
4 wide receivers. This is their run and shoot spread offense.
Bruins try to blitz him, gets it away, and it's incomplete. Intended for Chip Ball. Now they'll send in Gregory Turner and Bell, and they'll bring a play. Brinson across the 50 to the 49 of UCLA, maybe a half yard short of his first down, as Darrell Henley brought him down.
Henley has just been all over the field as you look at Brinson, number 33.
Still going, run and shoot, hurry up. Now they're trying to get a timeout from Steve Taylor, and they finally do. He finally saw the coach on the sidelines to get the timeout at 5 minutes and 57 seconds to play in the ball game. And Nebraska trying to hurry up, but they haven't been able to get it.
This Tuesday, a debate that needs
tonight at 10:30 on Channel 7.
Man on the left has never lost in this series. Man on the right never won in this series.
That's about to change.
Fourth down and short yard. And they get it as Tyrese knocks his way past the marker by a yard. Jim Waller, the nose guard, got a hold of him. But Knox, at 215 pounds, had the strength to nudge his way in there to pick up the first down. Looking at top teams and their scores from today around the country. Auburn looked physical and strong. So did Georgia. West Virginia, very strong football team. Payday for Cal State Fullerton. 100,000 guarantee. First down as Taylor drops back. Big one downfield. Gregory, and the ball is thrown out of bounds and complete. Matt Darby was cruising along with him, but I think both players saw that the ball was out of bounds. John Cooper won his first game as the head man of the Ohio State Buckeyes. And it won't surprise me if John Cooper makes the Buckeyes troublesome in the Big Ten.
And he's going to start throwing the football, I think, a lot more than they have in the past.
Nebraska still running the hurry up. Second down and 10. Taylor draws it. Can't quite get loose on the corner over there. As Billy Ray, senior outside linebacker, got a hold of him. California opened well. Oregon opened well. I think Oregon's going to be a problem in the Pac-10 so they don't lose some people. They can keep everybody healthy. Big Ten's had a rough start this year.
Iowa got beat by Hawaii out in Hawaii. A lot of the top teams have gotten beat. Florida State was ranked #1 and got beat by Miami. Nebraska, ranked #2, is getting beat here. You know, Keith, these teams can still come back and win national championships. So if you're going to lose, it's better to lose early in the season. As long as everybody else loses one.
There's one of the teams right there, Bob, that a lot of people think is going to be troublesome in the Pac-10, Arizona, because they got 8 home games. Here's Jim Springer.
Illegal substitution on the defense. Did not participate. 5 yards.
So that's a penalty against the Bruins. That's one of those sideline things where you have so much going on. They get a little mixed up. The Dodgers in Cincinnati playing here in Los Angeles. Chavez Ravine, Dodger Stadium, not all that far from where we are.
Cincinnati coming back on it.
Second down. Taylor loops his pass downfield. Bell cannot get to it. Taylor had to throw it because bearing down on him at a full head of steam was Marcus Patton, outside backer. He laid a lick on Steve, but he got the ball away. Those are the other baseball scores. The games that took place earlier in the day. Roger Clemens, one hitter. And Detroit falling more. Third down. Long 5 for Nebraska. And up the middle goes the fullback, Brian Carpenter. And he's going to have a first down for the Huskers at the Bruin 36-yard line. One of the things that you saw that troubled look on Terry Donahue's face. Now, Terry's going to win his 100th game tonight. And he's just past his mid-40s, but he is truly one of the great warriors I've ever known. And I've known him a long time. But he does not want to see a fall off in the intensity as Brinson comes on a wingback reverse and picks up another Nebraska first down around the 20-yard line. But I know right now what's going through Terry Donahue's mind. He does not want to see the intensity fall off. 4 minutes and 53 seconds to play and a 21-point lead for his team.
He is the winningest coach in UCLA history. But as you mentioned, has never beaten Nebraska. Has 6 straight bowl wins, which they're very proud of, which ties an NCAA record. And this year they have a chance to break that one.
This is Taylor, and he flips it back to the trailback Brinson, and Brinson gets about 3 yards more before he goes out of bounds. I would say this of the two gentlemen who are the head coaches in this game tonight. You won't meet 2 classier people.
That is true. I'll second that. And their programs are top-notch, top caliber. They lose players. Seniors go into the NFL. They bring up sophomores and juniors. They play 1 year for these programs, and they go on into the NFL also. They are just high caliber, good, talented players.
First down and goal from just inside the 7, and Carpenter gets down close to the goal line on that surge down to the 1. And the time remaining 4:35. Huskers have 2 timeouts remaining.
Talking about Terry Donahue, but Tom Osborne is the second winningest active coach. Is Osborne, as you look at Terry Donahue, and Terry says, after I win my 100, I hope I'm not considered an old coach.
Nebraska called that timeout. They have 1 remaining before a crowd of 84,086. It is second down and goal to go now for the Cornhuskers. The ball is just outside the UCLA 1. And it's second down. Taylor throws it. And it is caught by Todd Milliken for a touchdown.
Milliken is the closest one to your screen. As you see, Henley, number 2, was in his face. A nice throw by Taylor. There he is right here. Henley is here. Now watch Henley come around, and Milliken will just slip on out in the flat. Taylor wheels around and throws it. Nice play.
Going for 2. Taylor bootlegs, dives, he's in there. And now it's 41-28. 13-point lead for UCLA with 4:32 to go. And the hammering of hope remains. So little time.
This year, as the Olympic spirit burns proud.
41-28 ball game. UCLA expecting onside kick.
You know, Keith, I don't think you'd onside kick here. You've got plenty of time. Well, you've got not plenty of time, but you've got 4.5 minutes. If you onside kick and don't get it, the game is probably over. But if you kick it deep and stop them 3 and out,
you don't get it. They touched it before it went 10 yards.
You haven't gotten the call yet. There it is.
Well, Nebraska man had his hand on the ball at about the 43-yard line, dribbling it.
The ball was illegally touched by the kicking team before it went 10 yards. First down.
That is the worst scenario, isn't it?
Watch the UCLA player right in the middle in front of the ball get nailed right there as the first Cornhuskers down do all the blocking, and the second wave come in and try to recover it. The problem was the impetus of the ball didn't go 10 yards.
I think it was Drennan down there dribbling the ball, and he just touched it before it went far enough. They had a chance to get it, but instead UCLA gets it first down on the Nebraska 44-yard line. And give it to Eric Ball, who has hammered and hammered and hammered and hammered tonight. He's a senior out of Ypsilanti, Michigan, 6'1", 215 pounds.
UCLA's offense likes to have balance, and tonight they've achieved it, rushing 210 yards, passing 205. And if you ask Terry Donahue what he wanted to do coming in, he'd like for Aikman to be able to throw for some and rush for some and mix it in there, and they've done it. Of course, their offensive line has allowed them to do it.
Second down and 5. And yeah, the offensive line, if you had to pick one weakness on the UCLA team, and true, it's an unknown factor at this juncture of the season, but I think most everybody on the coaching staff would have said our biggest worry is the offensive front.
3 new starters in that offensive line, both tackles. Let's take a look at the linebackers. Etienne is number 47 on the right side of the screen. Fills the hole. But the offensive line of the Bruins has really dominated this ball game, and that's why they're up by 13 points at this junction.
Eric Ball on that last carry, and Eric's holding up some big numbers tonight. Trying for the first down, will come up just short. He has 131 yards in the ball game.
You know, Keith, I mentioned a little earlier how UCLA had lost 7 starters on offense and defense. But you see what they're doing offensively here tonight. They lost a lot of their top skilled players. Gaston Green was a first-round draft choice of the Rams. Willie Flipper Anderson, the star wide receiver, went to the Rams. They lost a lot of good players off of that offense. Belfar Jr., and they just have come back and just steamrolled over a good Nebraska ball club.
Third down and a foot. Ball dives and gets it. And the clock shows 3:13 to play in the ball game. And Terry now hitching up his britches and feeling a little better about things. Larry Camp, our director, starting his 26th year at ABC Sports.
In a row?
Looks like a kid.
All with the same network, huh? He's a good man.
Pretty good place, I think. Because I've been here a long time myself.
He doesn't look as young as Terry now. I mean, come on.
Yeah, he does. Player like that now. First down from the 34. Ball again. And they're just going to keep on doing it until Nebraska makes them stop, because time, score, everything is on their side. But you know, the Cornhuskers were fighting windmills from the very first breath of this ball game, and yet they have managed to put 28 points on the scoreboard. So they ain't dead by any means.
Well, they came in very tentative, I thought. Defensively, they came in very tentatively, and UCLA got a couple of big plays, a punt return early, and before you know it, they were down 28-0.
Eric Ball.
First down Bruins. Eric Ball again. Well, here are your MVPs for the ball game. Troy Aikman of UCLA and Steve Taylor of Nebraska, the quarterbacks. And a check in the amount of $1,000 donated in the name of each to the school's General Scholarship Fund for qualified students in their chosen academic fields. Taylor, 95 yards running, 125 passing. Aikman for the game, 13 out of 22, 205 yards, and he's been clearly the man in control of this Bruin juggernaut tonight. They have been impressive. Up the middle goes the fullback, Mark Estrick, out of Lockett-Cotta. And the Bruins now just banging away, and with a minute and a half to play. Dallas Cowboys and the Phoenix Cardinals out of Sun Devil Stadium in Tempe will be our presentation of NFL Monday Night Football at 8. That's 8 Eastern Time, Monday night on ABC Sports.
Michael Irvin going from the Miami Hurricanes to the Dallas Cowboys has kind of put a little excitement in the Cowboy passing game again.
Cardinals won a ball game. It's Eric Ball again. And this instance, I think it's kind of interesting here that UCLA is running left-handed. Running off that left side behind Menefield, Meyer. James Ray, Keith Jacobson also work over there.
Well, what they may be doing now is just trying to balance up some of the things that appear up on their tendencies. You're ahead by 13 late in the game, and sometimes you do things for your opponents in the coming games.
Well, Dr. Tom and his troops are going to take one tonight. They'll be back.
For every man who...
There's the time remaining. The Cornhuskers have no more times out. And now the Bruins just have to run out the clock. It is 3rd down. The football is at the Nebraska 17-yard line. So it is win number 100 for Terry Donahue. Tom Osborne, next win will be 150 for him. It is the first time that Donahue's Bruins have been able to beat Nebraska. They do it tonight before 84,086, which is the largest regular season home game for UCLA with a team other than Southern California, going back to 1947. So it's been a big payday all the way around, hasn't it? As Donahue goes up on the shoulders of his team and his staff. They prepared well for it. They worked hard to get it. And normally when you do that, good things happen to you. And it did tonight, as the UCLA Bruins beat the Nebraska Cornhuskers by a score of 41-28. Mike Adamle is in the middle of the crowd with the coach. Mike?
Terry, career victory number 100. It's a milestone, and got a nice to. It was particularly. You've had a lot of. Well, it's up. Earlier in the week, that the key to victory was the defensive lines and being able to control Nebraska's strength, and they did that and more.
Well, I think really that our first half, the first quarter particularly, was one of the great first quarters we've seen on this field. That really set the tone for the football. In the second half, we got conservative, sat on the ball, and tried to get the clock to bleed, and it was a great win.
I've seen a lot of great UCLA teams. I can't remember a team that has been so aggressive all over the field.
Well, we were angry, and we were ready to play, and that helps you play well. And, you know, some nights you're on, and we happen to be on tonight. And, football's a funny game, you know. When you're hot, and we were truly hot.
Terry, congratulations from all of us at ABC on number 100.
Thank you. It's a nice one. Coach.
And so away he goes with an exuberant crowd of young people hoisting him up to carry him to the clubhouse. And so it is no longer the gutty little Bruins. They're big, and they're very strong.
McDonald's invite rushing for 5 yards every time he takes off with the football. He's thrown for 10 TDs. He's been intercepted 5 times this year. As a 6-footer and 205 pounds. Brinson and Bell will be back as the Huskers will receive. Iowa State has taken the win.